right, folks. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Let me remove this so you can see the map, and it is upon us. We are here with episode 29 of the Haunting of Harrowstone. Well, I think anybody who was here previously did get to hear some of the table talk. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be super interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and allow you guys an opportunity to talk about what happened last time. But first, I want to talk a moment here about the Harrow card. As I was telling my players moments ago, this is both an unfortunate and a very fortunate card. The card that was drawn and misaligned is called the Beating. It's this one here. The Beating.
The card we need. That's really what we need right now, a beating.
The Beating. The Beating is both good and bad. And you're probably thinking, well, Bub, how can that be good and bad? Well, it's good because when misaligned, the target of a mob and or negative aspect of an audience doubles their hit points for the session. In this case, I have a feeling it is going to be Tripp. Tripp will double his hit points for the session. The downside is this. When in the terms of a mob or a riotous crowd, during a browbeating or a physical and or social beating, these people, so in this case, it could be the townsfolk, it could be the various NPCs, it could be bad guys, what have you, or in this case, it is our other players, they are goaded to take their knee-jerk reaction and they lean on, more often than not, sort of the bad side of things. So if their knee-jerk is to punch someone, then that's what they do. They are not encouraged to sit down and think it through and talk like adults. They are encouraged to go with their knee-jerk reaction. So yeah, it's not great for Tripp, right? It's not great for Tripp. But as I was saying, this could target literally anyone. If the switch is flipped and this goes on to, for instance, Eli and or Rye, and everybody turns on them, their hit points will also be doubled, which is significantly more. I think Cobalt was saying that Eli might go to like almost 100 hit points, which is gnarly for their level. But that's also a thing. So yeah, it is the timing, quite weird. So players, you have this knowledge. I have no creative control over your characters. I'm just here to dictate rules more often than not. So I'm going to lean on you to make those decisions. And you've done masterfully so up to this point. So very little work is on my shoulders here.
I just want everyone to know that if Rye reacts now, all right, you can't judge him as much. All right, he is influenced by a card. Okay, because I already see it now. I'm going to do something with Rye and everyone's going to go, remember when Rye did that thing? And they're going to forget that we have this card that's dictating it. All right, I just want everyone here to know. Shadow.
You say this like we've been talking about you eating a dog for a year.
Rye has already
that was of his
judged.
own accord. There was no card telling him to eat the dog.
No, exactly. Okay, that's fine. And I am okay with eating dogs for Rye. I'm okay with that. That's who he is. All right.
Okay.
Well, Oz is normally the one who de-escalates situations, but this card makes it so maybe he won't be.
Well, I mean, is Oz
I
the kind?
don't even want to think about it. I'm just going to do whatever happens in the scene.
That's what I want. I want to see that. So let's talk about what happened last time. What happened last time on Harrowstone Z?
Temerity went back into the room to detect magic in the room because we all decided that, hey, we're going to check it out one more time to decide if we're going to leave the items behind, because basically we put it up to a vote and like we just couldn't decide because it was like some people wanted to, some people didn't. We found out that the flute was missing because it was under Pecker, which Oz didn't really remember doing, but then he remembered doing. So that was a thing. Don't worry, Oz doesn't have the flute anymore. We basically got ourselves around that whole situation, and we ended up resting back into the warden's room. Tripp went on a little adventure though. He left Peverin's body. Perrin is a character in another game that I play in. He left Peverin's body and he went floating downstairs.
Yeah.
Right. And he went into his own cell, but he could hear like the Splatterman talking to him.
Yeah, he did.
And I'll let Tripp talk about that because that was his thing.
Yeah, we were. I encountered Heen Ferriman,
Spider-Man. That's right.
Who wanted to make a deal with Tripp. That deal. Well, before that, we found out that Sheriff Kaler was also Guard Kaler in the prison, and there's some bodies that are lining up because Kendra some years back saw that he was killed, and there's a stack of bodies in decaying succession going towards the prison cell, one being fresher than the next. Also come to find out that Sheriff Benjamin Kale Hockred is also that same person, potentially. So something's going on where this person's either like shedding skin throughout the years, or there's somehow a clone or a flesh golem or something like that, but something ain't right with it.
Those options
crazy.
Were varying so hard across the board.
Yeah. That was a thing, and then that's when we kind of go to the thing with Heen Ferriman, the Splatterman, down into the opening area of the prison where the hole led to, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a similar path. It's not quite immediately down from where you came, but it's not far from that.
But Ferriman effectively wanted to make a deal, and in short, he didn't want to be in the prison anymore. Obviously, just like any other person, didn't want to be locked in the prison. So he made a deal.
Does anyone ever want to be locked up in a prison?
Yes, there are people. I'm portraying one of those in a podcast, actually. He's happy to be in prison.
For what purpose?
So he doesn't kill more people.
Other people? Okay. Oh, interesting.
The deal was made to bring Ferriman's book to him, and in exchange, he wouldn't harm any friends of Tripp, and he would give him his real name. Taking to that deal, Tripp had reluctantly started thinking about it, and when he got back to the warded off warden's office, a gate spell opened up where the Splatterman revealed himself in front of everybody, and in the middle of that altercation, with everyone trying to attack him or at least interact with them, Tripp pulled the book out of the bag and dropped it into that area of the well, or I guess in that area where the gate was before it closed up. And we ended with Eli forcing out Tripp from Pevrin's body with a lay on hand spell, so dealing a substantial amount of damage to him and ejecting him from the child, and that's where we left off.
Perfect. I mean, I feel I would be remiss to not mention the fact that there was an epic roll-off that rounded out in 2 ties. That was impressive still.
Oh my god, I still can't believe it, because it was like 2 crits.
Yep.
And then like 2 really high rolls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure dice roll battle.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, they were
rolls of 30.
Really, really high. It was pretty astounding. But yeah, that's mostly accurate. Did we miss anything?
It was 221s. It was 227s, 221s, and then a 30 and a 26.
Yeah.
Like what? The bananas?
There was the chest in the wall.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I chime in on this?
Yeah,
one?
please go for it.
Okay, we didn't talk about the safe yet.
Yeah, okay. This is like the funniest fucking thing. And like totally in character too. So there's a Torvin made safe on the wall. Okay. Pretty much since we got there, we've been eyeing it. Like when we first discovered the room. So when we got back there and we were all resting for 8 hours, like Rye and Torvin started eyeing it like, oh, what can we do to get through this? So we start getting in this really elaborate shit about like the integrity of the wall and could we bust it down here? Could we do this? We have this like, we go out, we look for tools and stuff and like, you know, pylons to like support it, all this stuff. And then literally Oz wakes up out of nowhere because Oz was asleep by this point, wakes up, doesn't really know what's going on, and then haphazardly is like, I'm just gonna try to pick it, and like sleepily walks over and picks the thing open, like, oh, like no problem whatsoever. And we're just like, we've got like arms full of like wood and like, you know, pittons and stuff to keep the wall, you know, I got a crowbar, and you just wake up and just open it. It was like the most ridiculous bullshit, but it's like such an Oz thing. It's like, Rye's like, of course. That she like he stumbles into. It was kind of
amazing, right? Like when I look back at that moment, it was the most like barbecue dad's meeting moment when they're like, literally, it's like they're walking. One dad walks up and he's like, "You got a problem there? How are we gonna get in there?
Yeah.
What's that about? All right."
Did you put newspaper under it?
Well, I got my saw in the car. I'll go grab it. I think we'll probably be able to figure this
and then
out.
the one guy comes up and is like, and keeps walking.
Yep.
He's all
the other, you know, one of the other dads walks up and they just stare because they don't know anything about tools and shit, but they want to like participate.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. They just kind of, you know, that guy at the, okay.
I imagined it was like that lock picking show that I was talking about. I was like, I imagine Oz put his giant ear up to it and was like listening and was like, and got it.
I don't know, just like the casual way you just woke up and like walked over like,
is this where we see,
you know, it's like, what
do we see Oz multiclass going into Rogue? That would be kind of wild.
Rogue sorcerer. In DDO I used to be a wizard rogue, like a rogue wizard. It was awesome. Actually pretty great.
I'm here for it.
Like, it's a good combo.
Oz has got like some real good rogue skills.
Oz could maybe go. Is rogue like dex based or
yes,
int based?
It's dex and int.
I'm more int charisma based.
Doesn't seem that
decent
way.
dex.
You'll be fine, okay?
I can be
You're
swayed.
Doing it without the dex. All right, you're fine.
That about sums up everything. As it stands, it looks like we do have 2 luck rerolls. We have
Eli was very nice to Rye, but I think that should be mentioned.
Yeah,
Eli
for sure.
was like very nice, not only just to Rye, to everybody.
He did.
Seems like,
that's right.
Seems like he had a little bit of an attitude change.
He diffused the situation.
Yeah.
What was I trying to cast? Oh,
I don't remember actually.
disrupt undead?
No.
Identify.
Yeah, I think that was probably it.
I have a question, Bub.
Yes.
So, everybody got an action, like, to do before the portal closed.
Mm-hmm.
Would you allow, because Rye didn't take any action, would you allow him to equip the Pharasma sword that he has in that moment?
I mean, at this point, yeah, I think that's easy enough. But as I said last time, I'm actually going to wind our story back. And I am going to see what this looks like. The story's going to open today, exactly with Eli. Last session, I made an agreement with myself that I was going to show and give Eli an opportunity to show us what prayer looks like for a paladin, particularly of Torog. So that's where today's session is actually going to open back up. It opens with everyone sort of lying about. I even think that at this point, Tripp has not quite returned. Torvin and Rye have stepped away to gather lumber, whatever it is, whatever tools they might need to find. Temerity is on her way back to sleep, and we see Oz attempting to catch some Z's as well. So this tale opens back up with you, Eli. You finally have silence. You have those moments before terror sort of kicks back off, before events in life happens, so to speak. With that being said, I'm going to pass the stick of storytelling to you, sir. The scene has been set. Everybody has eaten. We have no idea that you've just ingested rat. It was quite good food,
Disgusting.
but it's
Fine.
silence. It's yours, sir.
He's going to move towards the window and place his candle in the windowsill and light it. And then he's going to get down on his knees, facing it. And he is going to begin to pray to Torog. And he's going to say, "Great Father of creation, please watch over us as we attempt to purify and cleanse this place of evil, and grant me the ability to put to rest the lost souls that curse and trouble this land. Bless my group so that we can all see this through to the end and have a positive outcome, and help me to protect the young boy in our care and keep him safe from his own unique abilities that others seek to abuse." And I think that's it. And if any animals join me while praying, which probably is not going to happen, then I am to welcome them and pray with them unless they are aggro, and then I'm supposed to slay them. So,
are there particular animals, so to speak, that you feel as if might, like, what is an animal that the Torog would be more admitting to?
preferred animals are badger, underground creatures, but with the exception of bats. So like armadillos, badgers, burrowing animals, cave-dwelling animals, but not bats. And Eli personally looks at rats. Or sorry, I think it's either actually rats or bats. It's one of them is not viewed positively upon, and
Okay.
Eli has it in his head that a rat is just a bat without wings, because he's been pretty messed up about it.
Chicken of the cave.
Yeah. So
How long will this
Have you ever seen
prayer?
bats in real life?
Yes.
They're very fuzzy. They look like caterpillars sometimes, like fuzzy caterpillars. It's very strange.
They're the cutest things ever.
I mean, depending on
Fine
the
little
bat,
kitties.
like the species, but yeah, they get very small.
They are pretty small, yeah.
Bats are so cute. They are rat-like, though.
Cobalt, how long would Eli pray?
I need a full rest. I think we had talked about doing praying for an hour, so I could still get a full rest.
Okay. This isn't the first time that you've admittedly prayed to your god. You've not tried to commune with the spirits so that you can recompense and return your spells to you, your divine magic. Maybe it's this place. Perhaps it is the very essence of Harrowstone that may be impacting. But where you pray, when you open your eyes again, how are your hands? How are your knees? Are you sitting down? Is this Indian style? What does this look like? Are your legs crossed?
No, I'm on both knees, sitting up with my hands out in front of me, bowed in
Sure.
front of the window and the candle.
Okay. All right. So when you remove that arch from your back, when you sit up, the sound of your jostling armor sort of deviates and breaks some of that openness in the air. Wind flies through the open window, through the bars, and it hits your flame. And as your eyes open, you immediately notice that the candle, while it appears the same, the fire burns black. It does not burn red or orange or yellow or even blue. It burns black. It does emit heat. You can feel it that much. But moments after your prayer comes to a resolution, that black flame slowly returns back to an orange flame. And where your hands part to assist you in standing, you glance down and you notice that there's ash on your palms. Ash in front of your knees. You know that there hadn't been anything like this before. but it is there now. You're not really sure what to make of it. Do you do anything about this? Do you kind of let this sort of stew for a while, or?
Can I examine the ash and see if there's anything peculiar about it, or?
Sure. How would you do that?
Knowledge, religion, maybe.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Please, by all means. .24 is pretty good. Religiously, ash has a lot of place, importance in religion, and there are not a small amount of gods that deal with ash or with fire in general. You know that Torog is the god of the forge, right? He's the dwarven god of the forge. The likelihood of there being ash from a forge is not unlikely, right? Like it's a very high probability. And after further glancing, you do recognize that it seems to be like silt and runoff from a forge that might be like smoking carbon, essentially. The black flame, that one is a bit more of a tricky predicament. You're not really sure what that means. Again, it could just be this area, but it looks to be ash from a forge.
Okay. Do I feel differently than I normally do after praying, or?
No, everything appears to be situation normal, right? You still feel that connection to your god. You recognize that the magic is still with you, that divinity still lurks in your body, and that you are likely working to the goals of Torog or other, be it your own goals or not.
I mean, I feel like that's probably, I'm not sure what to make of the black candle, but I feel like ash is probably a positive sign. If I recognize it from a forge.
Do you say anything to Oz or Temerity or anyone else?
Nah, they wouldn't understand. They're just gonna be like, oh, crazy paladin praying to his god.
Torvin might.
Verity probably would understand. Oz, yes, 100%. Crazy paladin to his god.
Torvin might. You know that he's got a pretty close connection with Torog. They're like homies. They hang out on the weekend. They play ball, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not something that he's gonna bring up when there's other people around. It would be
like Rye and Torog are close. You should tell Rye. Torog fixed his shoulder and made it so you didn't attack him. We're pretty close.
Right. Can I tear off a piece of my bedroll from one of the sheets and scoop up as much of the ash as I can?
Of course.
And wrap it up and tie it off?
Yeah. I mean, you managed to get some of the dust or like looser debris from mortar falling, but yeah, it's a sizable pile. Enough so that it was deliberately placed here. It's not something that just appeared upon your armor. It's not something that may have burned up in front of you and you've not noticed, right? You can tell that this was deliberate by action.
Rye looks over at Oz when this is going on. What's Oz doing?
You're actually starting to return at this point. You're returning.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
With Torvin, with a variety of like lumber and pittons and things of that nature.
Yeah, I walk in and he's just like,
we're gonna take you on that wall.
Yeah. So we just walk in and he's like scooping up the ash into some shit.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I give. Well, okay. So what is Oz doing then at this point? Are you still sleeping?
Oz was cooking, right? Because you're talking about this was when he cooked the meal and then he handed everyone.
This is this is following that. At this point, everyone's had their food, so.
Okay, so he's probably cleaning up He's probably cleaning up all the dishes and stuff like that while.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever the weird paladin was doing.
Is
Okay.
Torvin in the room right now, or
I
is he
think
out
yeah
walking?
I think Torvin and Rye just returned at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rye walks in and like just kind of gives Eli a look like, okay, and then like looks over at Oz and like what's going on, right? Like kind of, you know, that look like when somebody's doing something odd and you look to somebody else to be like, is this odd?
Is this,
Like,
yeah, is this
anybody else?
normal?
No,
Oz shrugs like, I also agree it's odd.
Something's kind of bothering Eli right now, but it's not the ash. It's
No one's bothered
could-
by the ass.
Is it something that you think that they would be able to tell? Like, is there? Do you have a face, right? Do you have a face where you're like you're clearly in thought, or you're disturbed, or is Eli just consistently stoic and like Gaston faced the entire time?
You know, I think he looks like his brow is furrowed, and he looks like he's in deep contemplation.
Okay.
Because when he was praying, he was going over, you know, his teachings, his religious text, his codes, and his principles. And there's just something that's struck him in the back of the mind, and it's that essentially the poison, the dwarf poison in his bag. He's starting to get a feeling that any idea of using it, even if he were to return a dwarf, you know, a runaway dwarf like Jorfa to the mountain or anything like that, that it's like it's not the proper way to do it.
Okay.
It's poisoning somebody is definitely not something that, if as he thinks through the process, it's not something that he's okay or he can come to terms with doing, because it goes against a lot of his principles. And he realizes that as he prays and thinks over his teachings. And so I think he would go to Torvin with looking very concerned, and he would just say, "You've got my bag right now." And earlier when we found that concoction and everybody was taking sips of it, I stuck it in my bag real quick. I just wanted to make sure that nobody else got their hands on it, because I think it's dangerous, and I don't know what the proper way to dispose of it would be. Do I need to take it back to the mountain so that the dwarves can study it? Should I just dump it on the spot? Either way, I'm not comfortable with any type of, let's just call it what it is. It's dwarven poison, and that's not a weapon that I would like to wield.
We know of it. That's
Is there
about
any
all.
reason to hold on to this? Is it, I don't know, is it rare? Would they need to study it to make an antidote, or is it more of something we just dispose of immediately when we find it? I haven't heard much talk about this. I think it's maybe what's the word I'm looking for here? Taboo, like a taboo topic probably, or how many dwarves, talk about.
Are we hearing this?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're likely saying. In fact, I think this is one of those things. Like, it's happening in live, right? So you're hearing this. Temerity's probably trying to just shrug it off and stay asleep. But this is about that time that we see Oz step over and start messing with that lock.
Rye just kind of chimes in, listening to the conversation. I can see why you want to get rid of it, but might fetch a pretty penny. I give Rye like a little smile.
Well, I am a businessman. I don't.
It's not for sale.
It's not for sale, and I don't deal in black market items that are. I don't deal with poison. I'm not some underhanded bandit or an assassin. If I want to kill you, I'm going to do it to your face.
I think you're thinking a little too straightforward with it. Perhaps the Dwarven priests, you could sell it to them. Maybe they'd learn something from it.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be.
Or your alchemists.
It wouldn't be for sale. There are many items in here I would be happy to part with for a coin, but this, although I am human, I consider the Dwarven lifestyle part of my own, and it would be an affront to my people to allow such an item to exist. I just didn't know if there was some sort of protocol.
Yeah, likely.
I think Oz, just in the middle of picking the lock, is like, well, why don't you just dump it out?
Yeah,
I don't
you
have
can
any
dump it
plans
out.
on trying to murder any dwarves.
Does Torvin give a nod to that? I saw Wyld give a nod to that, but does Torvin?
Yeah, Torvin does.
Okay.
All right, then I'll
Oz
have
sees
the
no
blast.
use in the needing something that murders someone else. Unless there's like a bad guy, I guess, but
Well, Right doesn't really care one way or the other, but there's all sorts of uses that can come from. So, it doesn't have to have a nefarious purpose in selling it. Like, you could
Tastes
probably
like shit anyway, right,
What?
Rye?
what is a non-nefarious use in selling this item? Because
You could sell
whoever
it to
is
a-
gonna
you could-
buy it,
You could sell it to a Dwarven alchemist that could find ways to.
like an antidote or something.
Yeah. That might be of interest
Okay,
to somebody.
Then say
it's
that.
rare enough.
I think other people
You
would
did.
agree with
I
that.
did.
Okay. Yeah.
Torvin let off with it's not for sale, and I agreed.
Well,
Mm.
if you're gonna pour it out, at least hand it here so I can take a last sip.
You're gonna drink it again?
I
Yeah,
walk
it
out
hurt.
of
So
the room,
nasty.
just
It hurt,
head
but, like-
down, shaking.
You might as well polish it off if you're going to do that. And that way I
That's
don't have
so
to worry
funny.
about dumping it.
It hurts so good.
You said it felt like gasoline or something when we drank it last time. So it's basically moonshine. Is
Yeah,
that what this?
it's-
Well, you
this
guys
is
have
like?
to understand that, like, Rye has a lot of nerve damage, especially in his esophagus and stuff. Sometimes he doesn't get to feel much when
Yeah.
he eats or drinks. So this kind of it hits in a way that he doesn't normally.
He really wants to feel something down his throat, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good
Yeah.
opportunity.
Spicy.
Do you give it to him so that he can ingest this?
Sure.
He passes it over to you. Torvin,
Don't
sort of
spit in
disgusted.
Torvin's face.
Torvin leaves the room. This is about the time, as you're beginning to start taking that sip, that there is a deep well knock in the wall safe.
So am I like mid sip and the thing pops open? I'm like I do a spit take on Torvin. No, I don't do that.
I was going to say,
God.
at that sound, I probably stop and look around. So that's probably not a good idea, Ella.
Yeah, it's all over you. Yeah, I'm like mid sip and you pop it open, and I don't know. Rye's like a mixture of surprise, but also like, of course, like at this point, it's like Oz is just like a little walking. I don't know, like a little walking good luck charm.
Bizarre anomaly.
From
of
your
good luck, for sure.
perspective, from
Yes.
Eli's perspective, Oz is like, what the fuck? Or Eli's probably like, what is wrong with this weird creature?
Yeah, no. Right. Whenever you do shit like that, or you're super perceptive or anything, it's always like, oh, Oz, there he is again, doing some cool shit.
So then I've got a couple of questions here. Do you finish the Iditer? The
No,
dwarf
I
poison?
I take a sip, because it was fucking horrid, but
Yeah.
I just take a little bit of a sip. I propose to just pour it down the toilet that
Sure.
was nearby. It's just right down the.
I was going to go out the window, but I don't care how we pour it out.
Then this is what occurs. The contents immediately becomes dispersed from the safe. it looks to be like a potion rack, some books, and petty cash. Unless someone deliberately takes the action to step away and dump this product, it's just going to be sat in your inventories.
I'm gonna dump it out the window then.
Okay. All right.
I'm not gonna want to have to walk and go into that nasty bathroom where Rye left the fresh shit not several hours ago.
I thought I had it. I have it, right?
I mean, yeah, at this point.
If you want to leave, that's...
Yeah, I was just going to go dump it in the toilet.
Yeah, okay, sure. Then you do just that. You evacuate this flask into a chamber pot, and you can make your return. At this point, they're sort of dispersing the goods. They're looking things over, and information is readily presented. We're going to fast forward. The information that you've... Go ahead.
Can I just say, as he's doing that, I'm following and making sure that occurs?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Then if does what does this look like, Ello, for Rye?
Well, I was literally writing, I do not pour it out to you in private, but if I'm going to be followed, then I'm just going to pour it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank God.
Rye feels like we're just, he can make a little money on the side.
Do you say like when you notice that you're being followed by Torvin, do you say anything?
No, it's not that important. It's not. He doesn't care, and if it makes them feel better about it, he'll just get rid of it. But
got it. Okay.
If he was alone, kind of walking back to the toilet, he'd probably get to the toilet and be like, I could probably nix this somewhere. And he might.
Sure. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you dump it. Do you keep the flask?
Is it a nice flask?
I mean, it's silver flask.
Oh, well, I mean, if it's silver, as long as I feel like it's been dumped thoroughly, I flush it a little bit, Like,
I mean,
it's
with
some water.
It's certainly not. Sure it's not regular plumbing. If you're flushing it, it's with like.
No, not flushing. I'm flushing the flask with water, like just to make sure I get
like from a water
out.
Skin then.
Yeah.
Okay,
I want to make sure that it's completely clean. So if I bring it back, they're not like, what,
Yeah. No, I got you. Sure, then that's just fine. You managed.
Torvin nods thanks as he comes back.
Torvin
nods thank you.
Oh yeah. I offer I say it's clean. Flask might be worth something though. And I just offer it.
As yours.
Oh, I kind of take it back and put it in my backpack.
Sure.
Eli's cool with that as well. Since he feels bad that he couldn't sell it, but he can keep the flask as compensation to feel better about it, kind of as a compromise.
And this is where things take that dramatic hike. You've gone over the information of the book. You've looked up information particularly about certain individuals, but nothing really rang out true. Nothing yielded any available information that was like, oh, Eureka, right? Nothing of the sort. But Tripp comes to. The boy stops crying immediately. There's the gasp, holding of the arm. And he starts to speak of the events that transpired in the basement. He tells of Sheriff Benjamin Kaler and how he's died many times. He's lived many lives. He tells of a soul that seems to be occupying a well-like space. He's made a promise that if we deliver his book, he'll not only tell me my name, but he'll leave. He won't even bother anyone. Where it is met with physical retort. This hasn't stopped Oz from consistently eyeing the bag where the book is and has been. Oz has already said on multiple occasions that it might be interesting to at least take a peek. Oz attempts to cast a spell, Identify, and, as magic does here, wildly so, it contorts, creating a portal. Not large enough for a large able-bodied figure to get through, but enough so for a child. When so, a voice comes through. Who's that? Who's there? Tripp, is that you? The voice of the Splatterman, Heen Fairman. He's asked if you'd spoke to your allies, what they had said. When there's an immediate response, Eli grabs a siphon and hucks it right through the portal. It just passes right through him. hadn't been activated, had not been cracked. But realizing that, he picks up the second, and the only remaining one, cracks it and tosses it through. It's not met the way that he was anticipating. It's immediately stopped. The spirit grabs the flask out of mid-flight, drops it, declaring that that's not very nice. While this is happening, everyone's attempting to figure out exactly what they're going to do. It's happening so swiftly so. But what nobody notices is that Tripp slinks across the fire, over to the bag, lifts the book, and hucks it right through the portal. Oz, catching it just as it's going through, casts Featherfall, attempting to catch the book, but fails to do so. Heen says, "Come see me. I'll have your name, boy." And the portal seals. That's when he feels the clasp of the gloved hands of Eli on his shoulders. And holy fire rings through his body, ejecting the spirit that is Tripp. And this is where everything returns. We are in this moment. We are in this high tension scene. So friends, Peverin, Tripp, you are staring up from the floor. You see Peverin's eyes as fear paints him a painting, so. Eli, with that furrowed brow, the tension hanging there. You know what you did. You know there's consequences for those actions. Rye and Torvin, a little dumbfounded in this moment. Oz, befuddled as well. Temerity starting to waken. Now, Eli did yell. It wasn't quiet. Everyone heard it, even Temerity. It's enough so to jostle you awake. And it might take you a moment to sort of get the pacing, but it won't take a lot for you to understand. So I'm going to pass the stick here, the storytelling stick. Ronald, it's yours. You have an opportunity to defend against this accusation or own up. What do you do?
Being ejected, Tripp getting, I guess, the realization that he's been pushed out of Peverin. He doesn't attempt to actually move back to him, just because as of right now, that assumption is, one, he either can't go back, or if he does, Peverin's going to be in danger, so he stays where he's at, but he stands up, and he faces Eli. He kills. No, I'm just kidding. He stands up and he waits. You can still see like that golden light kind of searing off of his aura until like it slowly dissipates away. But you can see like that fresh impact that he had just gotten.
Quick, the sword, Rye.
Rye, I need to know what everybody's doing. This is like hitting like in seconds. We're talking a standard action, like 3 seconds of understanding what's occurred.
Oz is immediately going over to Peverin and like protecting Peverin. Oz is.
He's in front of me right now. I got a hand on his shoulder, and I'm reaching back to Rye saying, "Sword."
Well, you're attacking Tripp, not Peverin, right?
So I Peverin threw the book in. I walked up behind Peverin, put my hands on his shoulders, lay on hands, and ejected Tripp from the body.
Okay. Well, Oz is getting in between you and Peverin to protect Peverin. But I know you're going for Tripp, and that's fine.
Okay.
Temerity, you awaken to that request. Rye, the sword. Oz is clutching the child. Peverin in arms. One hand of Eli still rests on the shoulder of Peverin. Ryan Torvin stand.
He's betrayed us. He
Torvin.
broke our trust.
Torvin drops to his knees.
In a moment of despair,
Yeah, just shock.
I'm just gonna startle and like grab a hand on my weapon. Like what? I don't know what's going on. What? Is everyone okay?
You are muted, sir.
Am I muted?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You're good.
Oh, weird.
Sometimes when you click out of Zoom, it may mute you.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you hear me? You can hear me
Yep.
now, right?
Can hear you
now. Sorry. Give me a second. Give me a second here. I toss the sword immediately to Eli.
Okay. Do you release the hand from Peverin's shoulder? Do you basically go into a combat stance?
If Oz has come to assist as well, then I will release him into Oz's charge, and I will move. I won't even grab my shield because it's a ghost. I'll just, sword and combat stance.
Oz?
Can we see Tripp now?
Yeah, you can.
Is he on
You've
the
become
other side
familiar enough. No, he's like less than 10 feet away from you guys. He's just stood up.
Oz is in between, like, just trying to protect Peverin. And then he, like, looks over to Tripp and is like, "Why'd you do that?"
What does Tripp look like? Is Tripp taking a similar combat stance? Is there something going on? Like, what's happening? Is there no remorse, no regret, no anything?
I mean, it wouldn't even be. It's going to be hard to convey that. But effectively, what you see is like once he stands. I mean, his like wraith-like arms are hovering at his side. I mean, he's not picking them up. He sees the blade already. But the moment
they can see your image of your body in this. Like you get the wraith form. But they can see like the outline, almost a silhouette of whom you once were in your living life.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's no like form of like combat readiness. He kind of just looks down and he when Oz says, "Why did you do that?" He utters, "Torment, constant, forgetting." Torment.
I'm gonna let you know, out of character, that's creepy AF, bro.
Yeah.
In game, Oz also says,
Also creepy.
"Yeah." What the heck does that mean?
And it's
Means
like
he's too weak.
You try to see that like you can see like the mouth trying to move, like if he's talking regularly, but like nothing's coming out. And then it's kind of like he has to like stop and like think. And then it's when his mouth stops moving and he's like kind of like trying to focus on words. That's when you hear like the words trying to come out.
For the
But
undead to speak in a common tongue is incredibly difficult. The moment that you die and you're treated as dead, in whatever form that you begin to communicate in, it is known as a unfamiliar language to the living, known as gutter speak. So for him to communicate in a common form, it takes a lot of willpower to muster words, even if unintelligibly so. There is with design.
There's nothing that he can say that his actions already haven't told us.
Well, what if the book called to him like the flute did to me?
No.
Okay, well that
No,
answers that
Colin.
one. Never mind.
Are you still like looking down?
Yeah.
Or are you? Is this a shame kind of moment?
Mm-hmm.
So it's visibly shame.
I'm gonna try to strike at him as soon as you let me.
I mean, I can't stop you. Make your attack. It's considered a longsword in this regard.
Okay. Let me see. I don't even know if I'm proficient in that weapon.
You're a paladin. You should be.
You should be,
It's all
yeah.
martial weapon.
Okay. Okay. Well then. So, longsword.
Bring me my longsword, ho.
Ho
In this, that was a Shakespearean quote. He doesn't mean ho, he means quickly.
Well, I mean, Rye is a hoe.
It's
Is it
is it damage small?
It's medium, unless otherwise indicated.
So
Most
1d8.
weapons, yeah, it's going to be a
Medium,
D8. It
oh.
crits on 19 to 20 times 2. Its type is slashing damage.
Okay, so I need to roll a d20 and then a d8.
It's going to be, it's based off of your just roll your regular weapon,
Okay.
because you're still going to be going off of your base attack bonus, and it's still going to be based off of your strength. So I can fix from there, because your weapons aren't your weapons aren't masterwork. But if you roll well, and you,
That meets my flat foot.
it's a +2 weapon.
Okay, then yeah, he is.
Right.
It exceeds.
Ooh.
So the damage is going to come through as a D8 plus +2, and your strength modifier. What is your strength mod?
Strength modifier is a 3.
Okay, so roll a D8 and add 5.
Pretty low.
Yeah, 7 points of
Lucky
lethal
dog.
damage. This is it's very reminiscent of what it's like when it crosses the body of a human. The difference is there is no material field. There is no connection. When you swing hard enough to break by armor, to break by bone and skin, and you pass immediately through to the ground. Visibly, something is very different, though. Where that mist of black, that almost enthralling like veil of darkness and shroud, seems to envelop the silhouette of the man Tripp. The slash spreads it so, like a hot knife through butter. And it seems to start seeping away from his body. His figure becomes noticeably smaller. You feel that eviscerating slash across your body. This isn't something that you felt before. This is not the torment of being harassed, of them using their wraith abilities on you. This is the torment of being undone.
You would hear like a loud shriek. I would say even with the impact, it hits him against like the ward of the actual room, and he like falls to the floor.
Oz will scream out and be like, Eli, what are you doing?
Temerity, what is Temerity doing?
Well, I don't really know what's going on yet, so I would say I would join.
He
Oz
just
in
swung
that.
at him and sliced
Yeah,
him.
I mean, I don't know why Eli is doing that, right? Because I was sleeping. I don't have the context, so I would go toward like.
Oh, but she woke up and saw the book and the portal, right? Because we all were awake during that.
It was the yelling, the yelling from Eli that jarred her awake.
Ah.
So that was towards the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So my confusion is mixed up with the conclusion of those events.
Gotcha.
I know we're in the middle of this,
Confusion.
but I'm really nervous and I gotta pee real quick, so I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, go ahead.
Better think up something very compelling.
He needs that moment.
It's gonna be something about mayonnaise and police officers. We all know that.
Yeah, as it always is, for sure.
What?
There is standards.
Does she say that she's confused, or does she say anything?
No,
or-
I'm gonna say like what I will. If Oz is having a problem with it, then without other information, I will also go towards Eli and try to get between him and Tripp.
Okay.
No, Temerity. He's given them the book.
You shift your body through after the yell from Oz. Rye, Torvin, Temerity has put her body between Eli and the wraith that is known as Tripp. Is there
And you
any...
did
Go ahead.
You did hear me, Temerity. You did hear me say, well, maybe he was like possessed or something to give him the book or whatever. And Tripp specifically said no, that it wasn't like the flute where I was like compelled to blow the flute. You did hear that.
Now, everybody is aware what he said Heen offered. Heen offered him his name and freedom from harm for everyone. Now, Temerity didn't get that. Temerity was asleep.
And I have established that my character, like every character I play, has a hard time waking up. So I don't know, and I don't know that it would be fair to be instantly awake, considering in
Sure.
the past I have not been instantly awake. Although this is somewhat of a different situation. So I think what.
Given the scenario, you've seen Eli strike out and you've seen this figure not take a hostile response. It may take a moment for you to understand and gesticulate what's exactly is going on, but what you've gathered is that this is something that is not attacking you, and Eli is attacking.
Yet.
Correct, yet. But you can see that silhouette of Tripp. May take a moment.
Whoa, yeah. What? Like, almost Ghostbusters. Nice shooting text. Like, what's going on? What? Can we take a moment? And can someone tell me what's going on?
Move quickly. I need to finish the fiend off before it escapes.
I'm gonna, like, hold up a hand, but turn to Tripp. Are you moving? If I turn around, are you, like, stationary?
Tripp, after he got hit, like you see him like holding the spot where he got cut, but he stands still.
Okay.
He's not moving though.
I don't think he's leaving.
Oz,
he stole the book from your bag. Rye, back me up here. He's made a deal with them. He's given them one of their items.
Torvin stands up.
Torvin stands. Oz, you're put in a very particular predicament here. What does Oz do?
I think Oz is still, like I said, gonna protect Pevrin, so he's still kind of on the other side, I guess.
Given how Eli swung though, Tripp would take that into account and would move slightly further away from Pevrin to avoid a misswing. So you would see like he shifts closer to like the desk.
Sure.
So he's like a little like, I guess like, I guess in the corner where I'm at right now. Yeah.
One singular chat heal has come through, courtesy of Sloth. And you are going to heal 29.
29?
Wow.
Wow.
It's a big one. This is what Rep can do in chat.
Does that give him like extra temporary HP, or does it just heal the 7 that he took?
It heals everything that he's taken.
He was down
15.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And from what I know in character, Wraiths, if he wanted to get away, it would be as simple as just like dropping through a floor.
Or
right?
fading through a wall, yeah. Real
Right.
easy.
Right. There's not, like if he's hanging out there, his escape is not predicated on us allowing it in any way, shape, or form. Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Torvin stands. Still probably frustrated. I'm guessing up to this point, the despair seems to hang over his face. You've witnessed this. You also witnessed that he fails to run, that he's taken this blow headlong. They stand silently, watching, as Eli, judge, jury, and executioner, continues to move.
Look, we both warned him, Temerity. He's broken our trust.
But why? I'm gonna look. Clearly, Eli is emotionally compromised at the moment, or that's what I'm feeling.
I don't know if his motivations are purely selfish or ignorant. I don't think it matters.
Torvin?
He empowered our enemies and of the town.
Tripp? I'll turn around back to Eli, but like facing door side, depending on where he's moved to, but fully facing Tripp. Is this true?
He nods.
Is it a confident nod? Give me a descriptor.
It's like a. I mean, he's
Like resigned or like we're
I mean, it's still like it's resentful, full of remorse. Like he's not like, yeah, I fucking did that shit. Like he's like,
I almost wish he would.
He's not making eye contact with anyone. I think at the very like
He's
when you
glancing
call his
down.
name, he looks up and then he kind of glances back down and he gives a soft nod.
And when you see that, Temerity, you almost see the impact of not only Tripp on Peverin, but a Peverin on Tripp. He nods his head like a shameful child.
Why?
Temerity, I don't.
Forgetting. Madness.
Before the whole thing happened, he was thinking about giving the book to that guy. Because he
So
wanted to know his name.
oh, okay. So these one-word answers are not going to work, Tripp. I understand you're in this kind of corporate, like, he's going to kill you.
He nods again. Slowly.
I don't presume to tell you how to do your job, but aren't you an inquisitor? Wouldn't the freeing of a spirit, the Splatterman in particular, lead to the countless loss of innocent lives? And is it not his fault for enabling him?
Do we know that he's freed?
I don't know why else he would make such a deal and try to procure an item.
He told Tripp that if he got the book, he could be free.
Is that all he told you?
Well, and that he promised he would give him his name and he wouldn't harm us. But I told him it wasn't worth it.
Oh, so he won't harm us. Is that what he said?
That's what the
Aye, that's what he
Tripp.
said.
Trip nods again.
As
Where
much
is
as
he?
you can trust an evil spirit.
He points like bottom left, going like pointing
The
diagonal.
finger seems to
like-
move, but it never seems to aim away from the floor as he slowly
Okay.
angles at the deeper side of the prison where you once were at.
I don't understand what's open for discussion. I've heard stories of inquisitors and how selfless they are and how precise they are at executing the undead and putting them back to their resting places.
And what will we gain if we execute him, who's not running,
Knowledge that he won't do it
And-
again.
and can bring us to the person that might be the
It's
one
not,
we need to slay?
It's not what can be gained. It's what more we can lose if we place our trust back in him.
I think that is awfully short-sighted and awfully reactionary. I don't think that what he did sounds right.
Right.
Rye looks at Temerity and just sort of says, "Sounds like you may have lost your way a bit."
So you're all
Betrayed us.
saying I'm going to look at, this is my job. If you want to let me do it. Tripp, did you betray us?
He nods.
Oz is gonna move away from all of them and kind of take Peverin
Give me a strength
to
check,
a
please.
corner away from them.
Oz.
Me?
Yeah, I want a strength.
Oh. Basically just trying to make him feel more comfortable and safe. 12.
Oz, you are incapable of moving Peverin.
What? Why?
You-
He's just like, because he's beefcaking up or what?
You don't know.
11-year-old.
Did he hit puberty last night? Like,
When I
Yeah, is
flex,
he
you
just
can't
like,
move me.
is he purposely like that or is he scared?
You look
Even
over his person.
conscious?
Do you keep trying to jar his body? Is there
No,
anything else you
Oz
try to
is,
do?
Oz is not trying to hurt him. Oz is just trying to like move him to safety /
And you can't.
calm
Seems
him down.
motive.
You can't shift him. His feet never lift from the spot.
Is he scared? What does he look like?
He's making no noise. You also notice that he's not breathing.
Sense motive? What the
Was
fuck?
he standing then?
Can I
oh,
I'm gonna examine him?
oh,
Of course you can. Do you move
Okay.
to the front of his person?
Yeah.
His eyes are open and they mirror the exact moves of Tripp. When he nods, Tripp nods, and vice versa.
Okay, while they're all doing their thing, then I think just Oz interrupts and is like, something's going on with Bevrin. I don't think he looks all right. And Oz is gonna be like in his face, like when he motions in his face, does his eyes do
Zero
anything?
response. When you lean down to kind of get a better look at him,
Snap.
his eyes are just deep well oil black. Complete slicks.
Rye puts his hand on Eli's shoulder. The boy. I think the boy's connected somehow to the Wraith.
Connected or kidnapped? What have you
Perhaps.
done to him, Tripp? Release him. He's not yours.
You see Tripp like frantic, like when you say that, he like turns over and he tries to like move away from Pevrin to see if he can like unbind from him, like he normally does. But yeah, I mean, if it's like he's trying to separate that tether like he used to, and it's like binding him, you would actually see like his hands and arms, almost like if they were like being magnetized to the floor. Like you see him like trying to move, but he can't.
You can't move. But abruptly, both yours and Pevrin's arms lift. As they lift, your right hand comes up, and almost in a pointer-like motion, you start to point. You point forward to the group, and Pevrin points to the wall above the safe. And you can hear the sound of cobble cracking on the wall. When you see this etch in the stone come out as a capital P. A tint of red seems to soak deeply within the stone in the now formed scars on the cobble wall.
Guys, I don't think that looks good. And Oz is like frantically trying to like wake Pevrin up.
His hand slowly drops back down. And where you would expect Pevrin to be back in control, a new voice is heard. Sorry. Pevrin's not in right now.
I'm gonna cast Communal Protection from Evil.
Target?
I think I can target multiple people, but I'm gonna touch Pevrin and myself. Because we're the closest.
Give me a D1000.
Judge Sickles!
What are you doing, dude?
I'm just trying to protect this poor kid.
Not you, Bubs.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
6, 7, 8.
Ooh, I think we've had that one before.
The person who was saying 669, that was close.
661, 662, 663, 664,
Fine, damn, you're fine. You sucker to me.
Isn't that
one more
369?
Yeah.
close enough.
time. From the windows.
To the wall.
That song's
we've
20
definitely had
years
this.
old. Sorry.
Is it really?
Yes.
God.
I cried.
Oh my god.
God
I'm
damn.
old.
Why'd you say that?
Hey, blame
Stop.
TikTok.
I cast don't tell me shit like that.
It will happen to you.
Guys,
Right.
the
I
point
hate
is,
it
we
too.
all got older, so we could do the stuff that we loved as doing as kids, but all the time. All right, and now we have our own allowance to do that.
That uses up my
Embrace it.
level 2 spells, one of my level 2 spell slots, though, right?
No. So that's the thing about wild magic. It doesn't actually take
okay.
any of your spell slots.
Oh, I've been making it use my spell slots.
Nope, it
I
doesn't.
will remove the one from the identify then too.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Okay, so you're not gonna
Yeah,
like
that
this.
makes way more sense. I always felt it was so.
yeah, I
punishing.
thought I was losing all my spell
Nope.
slots, and the dispel magic that I did before earlier was not then. So
No,
I do
it's-
have a level 3 spell
It's
slot.
it's quite literally what it's doing is where your normal spell would appear, it is forcing a new magic through you. So it doesn't occupy any of your spell slots.
I thought it still used my spell slot because
Nope.
I was still casting the spell.
That's
Man, I felt so bad for you because I'm like, damn, because I know how precious those spell slots. So every time you did that and you got, I was like, oh.
that's the
I only
danger
had,
of
I
like
only had 3 level 1 spell slots. That's all I had.
that's the danger of a
That's
wild
why
magic
I felt
mage,
so
right?
bad for you.
Wild
Yeah.
magic mages never run out of spells. You essentially open yourself as a conduit for magic to flow like freely through you, and you basically just say yes or no. When you say no, spells don't come out. When you say yes, no idea what's coming out, but
we still
spells
have
do.
a ribbon each, right? I have a ribbon and you have a ribbon.
I have no more.
Oh, you used your ribbon. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you guys were given 1.
We were given 2, but
2.
we used them all.
Oh, have you? Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not gonna like this, but that's fine. You targeted yourself and Peverin, correct?
Yeah.
All right, friendo. You don't get a save on yourself because you don't know what's gonna happen. You just think that it's accepting communal protection from evil. So, here we go. Teleport.
Oh,
The caster and target are teleported to the last teleportation location.
What?
Hope you're ready for this. You guys wanted a quick in, and you got there. Where they were once before you, Peverin and Oz are no longer. They're missing.
Peverin and Oz?
in my bucket.
Peverin and Oz. All that
Caster
remains.
and target.
Correct. Caster and target.
Yeah. Sorry.
Pecker
Wait, hold on.
is the only living creature outside of yourselves that are there. Pecker is separated from Oz.
Oh, so Pecker's with you guys.
it's all right. I'll grab the cock.
Am I still there?
I'll get the fire going.
You are still there, yes. Peverin and Oz are not. The camera
Can I
pulls back
sense-
briefly. In that moment, it turns from darkness into just a small bit of light. Peverin can't see because there's nothing down here, no light source. Oz, however, you can. The first thing you notice is that you're standing in knee-deep water. Anytime that you breathe, or Peverin breathes, you can hear your echoes off of the well walls. That was a bit of a cheeky move. Why'd you come to me? He already brought me the book. What have you to gain from being here? Don't you know that I'm a criminal? The voice rings from Peverin, but you feel something stirring around you.
So he's talking through Peverin?
Yes.
Creepy. Oz picks his hand up from the, like, touches the water and, tastes it.
Well, to say that it's not delicious would be even a short sight. It's not great. There is this like lingering taste of decay. It's like soaked meat that's just done so for years. You realize the only standing bed of water is on the base floor, as there is a small pond, a lake, where you witnessed skeletons, dozens, attempting to crawl from that very pond. And now you can hear the sound of water falling, running down those walls into this very well.
So on a scale of dwarf poison to not dwarf poison, where are we at?
You definitely have cholera.
Okay.
You at least have food poisoning.
All right. I was just has like a little taste and is like, well, this is some disgusting soup you got going.
Aye, been stuck here a while. It's not my favorite, but it's all I have.
Looking around, where does it look like I'm at? Does it look like part of the prison, or
You
It
think
just
it's the
got
prison.
flooded?
You think it's the prison, because you know that you've not willingly opened up any portals. You have no idea what just happened, but you know that you are somewhere else. You can hear the sounds. It takes moments still, and it distorts it based on the amount of movement that's happening, but There's a sound of wind crying out from above. It distorts off of the walls and then down again into the depths before it reaches here. Your keen ears are able to pick that up. Someone else like Peverin, maybe not so. Sounds like cries or wails. Water freely flows. The sound of stirring water around you.
Well, go on. What's wrong?
Well, what do you want with Peverin?
I don't want nothing with the boy. Why would you think that?
Well, if it wasn't you spelling his name, then who was it?
Oh, it was most definitely me.
Well, then you're lying.
No, I don't want the boy. I would like you to be kind to my friend. I had to distract y'all somehow.
You mean Tripp?
Aye. He's done me a great service. He brought me the book. Something my heart's longed for quite a while. I know you're worried. I can smell the fear on you. It's something you get used to when you're dead. You think, oh no.
Nave, that's just the soup I made.
Heen Thurman, the Splatterman, he's gonna kill you. He's gonna kill us all. I may have done some things in my time, but I've had a lot of time to think about it. Mistakes, see? I saw the error of my ways. And to be honest, I don't intend to hurt anyone.
What do you intend to do then?
I intend to find that succubus who warped my mind and deliver my own kind of justice.
You realize it's probably the book that made you do it?
Oh, it's not the book. If you don't believe
Well,
me,
you
you can
know-
reach out to a succubus and see just how they'll twist your mind.
What were you doing with the succubus to begin with?
I'd study. It's what we do. We study things. Teachers. You've had a teacher before, surely. You're a goblin sort, and you seem bright enough. Someone taught you things.
Well, yeah, Professor L.
What's a name I don't know? Has he come around here?
Well, maybe. I mean, yeah.
I felt them all when they were cycling around outside. Those men in the red robes. They didn't say much, at least nothing I could make out. But I then knew that there was something nasty that they were pulling.
What were the men in the red robes doing?
That's to be seen. I'll tell you when I get out. I just have to finish my part of the agreement. Once the boy gets here, Tripp, I'll tell him his real name. And then I frankly don't care.
So if you don't give him his name, you can't leave here.
I suppose there's some truth in that. But why would you stop me from doing that?
Well, I don't want you to hurt nobody.
I never said I was going to hurt anyone. You assumed. There's danger in that.
You didn't say you're not.
No, I did. I'm going to hunt
No.
the succubus that did this to my mind. That warped
You know,
my...
hunting implies that at some point you're gonna hurt somebody.
I have
Well, at least
someone in
any
mind.
hunting that I've ever done.
Would that be any worse so than what I've heard from you and yours above?
What you mean?
Well, you think that because I'm stuck here I have no eyes, no ears. Can't hear, see or nothing. I saw right through the boy's eyes. I heard it. I know his name.
What'd you hear?
Well, I watched how quickly you are to turn on Tripp.
I didn't turn.
Oh. You can't lie to a dead man.
I'm not lying.
So then, what's that I'm feeling from you then? I saw the way you were
I don't
looking
know.
at
I'm not touching you.
That's what it is. Jealousy.
Nope.
So
Definitely not jealous of you.
So then you
Us
wouldn't,
looks around.
you wouldn't want this book then? You wouldn't want the pan pipes? The piper's pipes? You wouldn't be after the lopper's axe? Or the marauder's hammer?
Well, that's a different story.
Oh, right. So envy then. Envy.
No, more curiosity.
Curiosity. So what's to happen then if I put this book right in your hands?
Well, last time I tried to read it, but they wouldn't let me.
Well, why is that?
Probably because people like you were reading it before and probably did something bad with it. Probably because it made you do something bad. I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
See, Oz. I think it has something to do with how they fear you.
Fear me?
Well, you've heard it firsthand. I've heard it firsthand. You're just a goblin, right? You eat people. You and your
Don't
kin?
eat. Who's telling people? Even you've heard that? Who's going around telling the ghosts that I'm eating people?
It's just what's echoing off the walls from above.
Well, make it stop echoing. I don't eat people.
Then perhaps you should silence your allies. Hell, some of them speak so loudly in their thoughts that I can hear that down here. You know, the only one that's wanting something of such little value is the one that you're trying to kill right now. He wanted his name. He wanted freedom for the boy.
Well, you of all people know that that isn't such a little thing.
It's not, no. It came at a cost.
So, you're wrong.
Which part?
He isn't the one that wants the least. He's the one that wants the most. Of all of us, he's the one who's missing the most.
So do you feel this way then? A bit of a bleeding heart for everyone here?
Well, I hope my heart's not bleeding.
He's like quickly looking down at his chest.
See, we've all been stuck down here for the last 50 or so years. Some more than others. And our hearts hurt too. We want things as well. Freedom, first and foremost. No, I'm going to say with the utmost honesty that some of us shouldn't not be free. Some of them are rather bad.
I'm gonna be real with you all. Most of you probably don't have hearts. Well, ones that are pumping, that is. But I will say that that's what we're here for. We're trying to free you, to bring you back where you belong.
Well, then, if you
Not
wish us to be
free.
free, to pass on, if that's just your goal, then I'd make an agreement with you if you'd be willing to.
Well, I don't like making agreements with whatever's happening here. Can you, get out of Pevrin? Leave him be?
Oh, he's just a convenient occupying space. If you were dead, I could talk to you the same way, but I have to. He's a bit of a vessel.
But he's just a boy.
An inconvenient slight for him. No one else is capable of doing this, I've seen. I can't stop you, for the record. I can't stop you from leaving. And I can't stop the boy either. I honestly
Alright,
thought that
then.
Tripp would come down here.
Which way's out, then?
Tilt your head back. Look straight up.
Oz grabs a hold of Pevrin and looks up.
Pevrin can't see. Not that Pevrin has control. But what you see is a 40-foot gap. Curved stone walls. It is a circular pit that is slowly filling with water. It will take years to fill.
have to climb up there. Is that what you're...
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not easy. No, see, I've not been able to do it my whole life. Well, I suppose I could.
Unlife, you mean?
Right. I mean, you could stick around, but I don't see a point.
I'm not really a good climber.
I'll do you this one good grace then. Since I'm free as is, he already brought me my book. I'll turn all the spirits away so that you can call for yours. As long as they come directly here, they can get you on the boy, but they have to bring him. I don't know how you'll get that information back. That's for you to figure out. But I'll turn away all uncanny threats, all things from my cut of the world. No cost to you. You just let Tripp come down so I can tell him his name.
Well, what if I don't?
Well then, I suppose you better get used to this place. 40 feet's a long time to climb. No cliff hits, no edges. And none of the others will come down here for the record. They don't want to stand toe-to-toe with me. I don't know what I've done, to be honest, to scare them so much. They're all dead anyway. It's not what that matters.
Probably nothing good.
Listen, we all have skeletons in our closet. Things we've done. Some things we're not necessarily proud of.
Yep, some of us don't have literal skeletons in our closet.
And you're going to tell me that as a goblin?
I don't.
Well, maybe not you. How about your parents? And your parents' parents? And that entire clan of rotlings that you came from?
Well, I don't know my parents, and... Well, I'll agree with that. Not every hobgoblin's... Well, it's not their fault. They're just born into it.
True.
I got out.
But how about those that were found stuck in? Didn't have a choice, and when they were finally freed, they just kept issuing the same drivel as their betters. Like that boy up there. Still feeling out his name. Eli, that one.
What about Eli? He's the one who was spreading those rumors, by the way, about me eating people.
I know.
I don't actually eat people.
Well, if you did, you would have already eaten a boy, especially now that you're free with him. That being said, what makes you think that even if I help you escape this place, that man Eli, who spreads all them rumors about you, that he's just gonna let you walk out here scot-free? That your demise won't be so timely and convenient. You are one of them goblins, after all.
Well, he hasn't hurt me yet.
Well, you're his ally, right? Just like Tripp was.
Well, I don't plan to not be his ally.
I suppose Tripp didn't necessarily either.
Well, he kind of did. He knew what he did. He even
course.
said he did what he did.
Of course, he's owning up to it. He's a good man. For what it's worth, he certainly didn't belong here. And I never called him Tripp, at least until he told me his name. I knew who he was. He was that half-elfin boy, stuck over there, just up over yonder. You know he cried for 3 weeks straight.
What else do you know about him?
Oh, see, now we're trading information. You're getting a lot here for nothing.
Well, you're getting a lot for nothing, too.
Not nothing I couldn't already hear from your mouths.
Apparently not. You had all kinds of assumptions about me that weren't true.
Oh, no, I was just spelling it out the way that your ally spelled it out. Or friends, whatever you call them. That wouldn't be no friends of mine.
Well, if you had some friends, you probably wouldn't be here.
See, that's just it. I did have friends. I did. They turned me in. I'm not mad at him. No. I killed his wife. It's not I wanted to. It's not I wanted to. It just... I kept seeing her face over and over again. That's why I knew that I was under her spell. See, I was this professor, right? Hein Ferriman. Dr. Ferriman. At Lepidstadt. I was respected. And if I'm being honest, Montagny's probably very mad at me still.
Why would he be mad at you?
Because I killed his wife.
Oh, was that would do it. So you're the one who did that.
I killed Montagny's wife. I wonder if he's still there, if he changed jobs. Brilliant in the study of death. MargaretKrohn. Nearly mastering early necromancy. I had to dabble in other things, demons and the sort.
As far as I know, he's still a professor at the university.
He's still there. Would you do me a favor? I'm gonna help you get out of here.
Now it seems like you're trying to make deals.
The deal is only this. Mostly because I care not for it, but I can smell it running through you. It's more than fear. There's magic swords. The arcane in the lot. See, at Lepidstadt, I had a bit of a private hold, where I kept some interesting baubles. Things of curiosity. Magic, if you will. If you get Tripp down here, not only will I keep him away from you, but I'll tell you where that is. Small vault. And I won't tell anyone else.
Out of character, I do have an addiction. Right. That's still...
To a degree, yes.
Can I make that addiction a roll to say
course you
whether
can.
I'm tempted by it?
Of course you can.
What would you say that would be?
I mean, you tell me. What's the
save,
percentage,
wisdom?
right? Is this like a 50-50? Like, you're either tempted or you're not? Is it a 70-30, like 30% chance that you would say no, 70% chance, yeah, hell yeah, I'd probably take it?
Will roll?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, a will save.
Your will saves are hurt, courtesy of the beating.
I just want to make sure that
That's okay. What does that mean by will saves are hurt?
You have negatives to your saves.
That's fine.
Okay.
I think that makes sense,
Sure.
right?
You can
Sorry,
make...
what were you saying, Ello?
No, sorry. He killed the white. Wait.
He killed MargaretKrohn's wife.
Correct.
They're supposed to be bringing the
But
books.
we haven't met yet.
to
We haven't
them.
met
You
yet.
haven't met.
He works at the university. We are going to meet them. There's some books that we need to deliver to him.
Okay, for some
That's who
reason I was
Gorovin's
thinking
flesh
it was-
golem book was owned by.
Correct.
See, I thought it was Gorovin. I thought he had killed Gorovin.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with it.
Okay,
I thought-
that's why. Yeah, I wanted to make.
You guys know, that Gorovin's wife she died from sickness, something that they couldn't treat. They didn't have the medicine for it.
Oh, okay. I just don't ever assume that like what people say they
Sure.
die. There's always like a little, maybe some twist. you
Something.
know?
Ello
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
believe you, bub.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. I don't believe.
I'm a
you.
fucking liar, man. It's my job.
I see that.
Go ahead. Give me a will save. I'll set the DC at 16.
What's the
DC
minus?
16 minus 4.
I do not save. I think I take it. Okay. I just definitely wanted to leave it up to a roll, but that makes sense. And I have a negative to it. Okay. Oz kind of paces, like treading in the water in front of Pevrin. And then he like looks up. He looks over at Pevrin again. There's this weird, creepy entities talking through him.
You notice that he's kind of like, there's just like gentle sway in the way that Pevrin moves, and occasionally the hand kind of comes up, almost as if he's trying to like pontificate or speak like how people do with hands.
Oz puts the strap on to his other, what do you call it? what are they called? Overalls? Yeah, his overalls. And like adjusts his like little wizard hat. And looks him straight in the eye and says,
You make a hard bargain.
So then a
You'd be
deal.
good at selling them eggs.
I'll keep that in mind for another life.
Well, if you're ever interested. Got plenty of eggs to sell.
Peverin extends his hand in a classic gentlemanly handshake fashion.
Shake on it.
Oz kind of like wipes his hand on his overalls, spits in it, and shakes his hand.
He clasps your hand tightly in a way that you would expect an older man to do. And there's just like one solid and like stern slap down. And then he releases. Peverin falls limp into the water.
Oz will try to catch him.
Sure. He's light. He's very, very thin. Give me 10% chance here. Roll a 10% chance. So roll a...
D10 or something?
Yeah, roll a D10 and pick a number before you roll.
4.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, 5. I was close.
Okay. Don't worry about it then.
The hell does that mean?
Nothing?
I hate when DMs do shit like that.
Probably just fucking with me.
Yeah, right. So
Now what happens?
Our camera pans back
Okay.
to the room. Situation changes yet again. We dial it back maybe 4 or 5 minutes. The conversation went rather swiftly, so. We're back here. Temerity, Eli, Torvin, Rye, and Tripp, and Pecker. The two have disappeared. I do not believe that there is any levity provided to the situation.
Knowing that he
sake.
shifted so fast, would I be able to sense where he's at all?
Where Peverin
He's
is?
a conduit? Yeah.
No. You cannot immediately, and your best guess is it has something to do with some of the spells in this place, some of the magic, the arcane weave that's on this place.
When that happens, then you see Tripp turn to like where they were at, and like starts like in a sense like pantomiming, like panning the floor to see if like something can be like felt in that area.
Sure, he's goleming on the floor. He's looking for his precious.
Eli's going to take the blade and point the hilt in the direction of Temerity, and he's going to say, "You deal with this creature. The boy's gone, and that's my priority." And he's just gonna scoop up Pecker and walk out of the room, or start walking towards leaving the room, and he's gonna speak down to Pecker and be like, "Find your master. Show me where your master is."
The sword, the Phrasmin sword. Okay, good. All right, I'll take it.
I make sure I've got the backpack with the other artifacts inside it.
Sure. Seems just fine.
I go after Eli.
Eli, do you storm out of the room, or do you wait for Tripp to sort of start leading?
No, I'm gone.
You're gone. Okay, then
I'm
sure.
going to trust Temerity's going to deal with it because that's her job.
Right. Right, you charge after him.
You're
He's
not
exited the
boss
room.
of me.
I'm not.
Torvin, do you stand similarly, or do you kind of do you run out after Rye and Eli? What does this look like?
I'm going to be moving towards Rye and Eli as they leave, but my eyes are just pure murder towards Tripp.
Got it. Okay. So then, Eli, you storm out first. Rye is not more than
Carrying
5 or 6
Pecker.
steps behind you. That's when you see Torvin turn after casting that daggerous, like knife, like look down at you, right? If looks could kill. And then it's the 3 that are left in the room. So a tiefling, a pecker, and a wraith are left alone in a room.
No, I'm taking Pecker.
You're taking Pecker.
Pecker was
I said, come on, Pecker, show me where your master is.
Got it.
After the exchange with Torvin, then Tripp looks up, sees that Temerity has a blade, and then you see him, like, he stands and just waits.
So then before we move over here to Eli, I'm going to give a moment here, particularly to Temerity and to Tripp. Temerity and Tripp, a tiefling and a wraith. An inquisitor and a prisoner.
Nice sense motive on him, and kind of from all the things he said before, right?
Sure. I'd like to know what particularly you'd like to gain.
So he's saying his body language isn't matching the onesie twosie words he's using,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
He's clearly not, like, yes, he thinks he betrayed, but he's not fleeing. He's not meeting up.
He's
right?
accepting his punishment.
Right. Something's not truing up. Why would he do that? Right. So I want to, I'm really trying to figure out, like, is he, like, do I feel like he acted maliciously? I think is probably or does it feel, can I sense if he's.
The only malice that you sensed from Tripp the entire time that you've known Tripp was that act against the child. And even then, you knew that was something that even he wasn't expecting. That was new to him. He wasn't even sure. And from that point, he tried to exhaust those abilities again, and he floundered frequently. He's not been able to extend those powers outside of Peverin very well. Occasionally, from time to time, he does so. But he's not really super familiar with how his body functions.
So the reason why Tripp as well is talking in, like, one-word sentences, basically, is because undead speak a certain...
Correct.
I have comprehend languages.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah, you can.
Okay. Talk to me.
You cast
Why
comprehend
did you do
language.
this?
Normally,
Yeah, I'm gonna cast
I would normally ask you to roll a d1000, but someone is protecting your spell.
My God, thank you. I will literally bake you cookies and mail them to you.
That's typhoid.
What?
Free typhoid in chat.
Where's my protection?
They
You put
Oh, I
me
thought
with
you
the
were gonna
big
say,
bad
where's your
guy.
cookies? I'll give
And
you
he made me-
cookies.
they love watching the spells fly awry from Oz.
So
Comprehend languages works like a charm. You can't speak it, but you can understand it.
right. So I will. I should be able to understand you. Talk to me like you would talk, not in this one word.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now talk to me. Why did you do this?
For closure, or myself.
Do you see how that's not going to be good enough?
You don't understand. Every day, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like even the one that you call Tripp.
You put that boy's life in danger. You put all of our lives in danger. And even though I cannot comprehend what it's like to be dead for 50 years and be having this conversation, and in fact, the fact that I'm even having it with you is more than I can really comprehend at this moment, but you have to understand. And if you can't, I don't know what else I can do. You have to understand why no one will accept that as an answer.
I don't expect anyone to understand.
then what do you expect to happen?
For it to end one way or another. At the very least, that I at least get my name and the power that comes with it. And as you say that, you can see that there's like a comfort knowing that he's able to talk to you, and he starts doing this unusual like pacing around you, like he's like circling you.
Hey, just throw this out there, bud. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you up, but you're really quiet.
When you
Me?
talk,
Yeah, you
as
are quiet,
Tripp,
yeah.
you're like whispering.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Which is okay, but you have to be
Yeah.
loud enough for us to
Put
hear
the
you
mic
whisper.
up close to the mouth.
Yeah,
maybe if you're
like
gonna-
eat it when you
Hold
whisper.
on. Let me see if I can fix this. Microphone, audio settings.
Do you feel like you're quieter than normal? Any like?
It's probably because I'm
That's better.
okay. I'm just not articulating enough. My bad. But yeah, Tripp starts doing this like motion that you can tell where he starts walking. It's this unusual like confidence, like, oh, I can talk to her. Let me continue kind of thing. And he starts circling around you, and he puts his hands behind him as though if he's like pondering something, and then he kind of looks over to you. Imagine, if you will, every day that you started forgetting a little bit of who you were or what you did, but the impulse and instincts of what you're capable of doing remain. And he kind of like, when he says like the instincts of what you do, he points to the blade.
Mm-hmm.
Now picture seeing one of your friends or someone that you love, and every day you forget more and more about them and what your connection is to them. But the impulse of what you're capable of doesn't leave. Now picture one day you forget their name, and the impulse keeps growing. Your instincts to kill keep growing. Even now, as I control Pevrin, that instinct grows faster and faster every day. I made that deal to get rid of myself so I don't hurt someone using him, to not hurt any of you. Yes, I released the greater evil into the world, but to be honest, the rest of the world is not my concern. You are. I have only had a small sliver of paradise since I've turned into what I've turned into. And I will protect that at all cost, even if it means betraying all of you to do it. If you wish to cut me down, then do so. I do not blame any of you, and I will not hold any hatred. Well, can't say that I won't hold hatred, but you're more important to me than my own livelihood. But at the very least, I get some closure in my existence.
So she's still holding the sword, and she's gonna keep holding it. She won't have put it away. It's not threatening. It's just clearly not sheathed or like it's out there.
Sure.
Right. I can't imagine the type of torment that you have been through. I don't want to imagine it. My job is to stop that kind of torment from happening. So, for all intents and purposes, I should strike you down right here.
I know.
What do you need to do to get your name?
Apparently just go that way. And he points again.
What happens when you get it? Do you know?
All I've heard before was there's power in a name. Maybe nothing. And then in which case, if nothing does happen, I face my execution at you and Eli. Or I remember everything and hopefully find the light at the end of this dark tunnel.
I want you to find your name, but I want you to know that if you get it, and I will be with you, and your intent is anything but for the good of the boy and of this group of people, I will strike you down without hesitation.
That's why I haven't ran. And even then you can see like through the visage, you can see his like almost like cocky smile. But even then it's still like the wavering eyes of, his doubt and shame.
Well, they're looking for the boy with a chicken. I'm feeling like you have a better way.
I do.
I'm gonna gesture towards the door. Bring me, show me.
I hope you can move fast. And then you see him turn into like this like weird like little like ball. Almost kind of like the Harry Potter movies where like they like shoot out like when they're like I guess the fucking Death Eaters and shit are like shooting out and everything. That's pretty much how he like moves. And you see him bolt past the door and heading towards I guess where he would believe everyone's heading.
Okay. The camera moves yet again. Before you're capable of exiting the room and chasing this lightbound ball that you know is your ally, or something as close as may come in this form. Eli, the chicken chaser. The camera turns back to you. It's right in your face at this point. It sees your frustration with the situation. You can see just behind you and hear the heavy footsteps of Rye and then of Torvin as they try to keep up. Rye, you said you wanted to follow with him quickly.
Yes.
The hallway's yours to discuss as you like.
I'm just gonna look at Pecker and see if they're making any indication of what direction, and put them on the ground and see if I mean it's a long shot. Otherwise, I'm just gonna start wandering the halls looking for them. So, but I figured there's probably some sort of connection, or maybe it's got super chicken smelling. I don't know. It seems like a unique creature, right? Like for a goblin to be carrying around. So I figure they're bonded.
So, what do we know about your chicken so much, Maggie? What is he capable of? I mean, I know he's bound to you. But what do we know?
In regards to...
Is he capable of finding you?
Know? Is he capable of finding me? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they had an empathic link at a certain level, don't they?
I'm not sure if they have that.
Let me look it up.
It is wait, it's not a familiar, right? Because you're a sorcerer? Do sorcerers get familiars? I thought only wizards got familiars.
Wizards get familiars. In this case,
I got this through the background.
The background.
I gotta go let my dog out.
Go for it.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
It was inspired by greatness was the background that I got.
So what does that say then?
I just pasted it.
Oh.
Pecker the chicken. Okay. Inspired by greatness. This is how... So, Pecker is only a recent turn of events for you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is probably a chicken that you were feeding that was supposed to have been eaten. That you were like, nope, not today, big boy. You're coming with me. You've probably had Pecker for like a month. That's a little wild. All right, sure. Okay, yeah. We'll say sure that there is a slight link. That there is in fact a slight link between you two. Bear in mind, you can always
It's
yell.
all like, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Nothing that says that it can't happen.
It should be that. I don't know if that's what you want to work with or not, though.
Oh, then yeah, it's definitely the case.
What'd you paste?
He sent it to me in Discord.
Oh.
So you're capable of communicating to a degree with up to a 1 mile distance.
Oh, nice.
You cannot see through its eyes. You just communicate empathically.
Okay.
General emotions can be shared.
Well, I had an idea because I do have spider climb potions.
No shit. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, so I was gonna chug
I have
spider
one
climb
too.
potions,
Mhm.
and I have 2 of them, and I was gonna give one to Pepperin.
Magical.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could just drink one and just carry him.
Yeah, you could probably just like attach him to
can
your
carry
body.
him.
Yeah, I'll let it happen. He's not fighting you, and if you were able to like get him over shoulder, then it's gonna be difficult. But with spider climb, you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, spider climb's super OP. I was holding that little card up my sleeve. We found
Am I within a mile radius
Yes.
of Pepperin or Pecker?
Yes. Well, both. Yes.
I'm a little scared to like yell because there might be other things that hear me.
Well, you remember
So-
what he said though, right? He said,
He said he was gonna push the spirits away.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I don't know if he's telling the truth. This guy
Okay.
makes deals with succubuses. Succubi? Succubies?
Succubi.
Succubies.
Is that like the like infernal Applebee's?
All right, what's Pecker doing?
Pecker, when you set him down, lead him out of the room, he what you know what? I've got to leave this to Maggie. Maggie, what is Pecker doing? Like, what is your overall mood? Like, it's an empathic thing, so he's feeling emotion.
Yeah, I think what you see when you put Pecker down and you're like, go find your person. Pecker just kind of like first goes out of the room. He's like cautious, and then he starts like pecking the ground.
You stand there for a moment.
Because like,
Is
does
that
he know
it?
the direction? He kind of just knows it's down, right?
He knows that you have a feeling. Empathic link quite literally conveys emotion.
Oh, okay. Well, then during that entire conversation, I think he starts first like kind of pacing. So he's like walking back and forth. Then he sits down. He starts shaking a little bit. He poops a little nug. And then he stands back up.
Well, I'm watching Eli watch the chicken.
I'm not going to stand there for long if he's not clearly indicating direction. I'm
Well,
just
I
going
meant to
to
speak
leave it
to you pretty
behind.
quickly, anyways. So,
Sure.
Okay.
I catch up to you, Eli, Master Eli.
What is it? We've got to hurry. We've got to be quick.
I think we should take a breath for a second.
That's what we were trying to do. I just wanted to rest. I just wanted to pray and lay down and rest and recover my strength for tomorrow. And then we were betrayed, and now the boy is missing. There's no time to wait.
The boy is with Oz. Oz is a, magical sort.
I'm well aware. I've almost seen Oz die several times already.
I think he is protecting the boy. I figure they'll show up pretty early. Let's talk. Let's take a breath.
Torvin, you're there as well. Feel free to chime in at any point that you'd like.
As a urban ranger, I'm just trying to think whereabouts they would be. I mean, below us, but
I mean, would we even know that it was a teleport spell? We just saw them blink, out of.
I just know they're not
existence,
here.
Yeah.
They're in really places downstairs.
I'm either going to look for the boy or I'm going back to deal with that creature, which Temerity has hopefully already dispatched.
I mean, you do know that Tripp was pointing down.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think Temerity can handle Tripp. I'm with you, though.
I've never seen an Inquisitor hesitate so much at dealing with something undead.
She's got.
Then again, I haven't seen many, but I've heard stories.
She's got a bigger heart than most of her kind. She's already showed that several times. Actually, I don't think she's quite fit for her profession, but what do I know? Listen, we'll find the boy. I don't think he's too far. And I trust Oz.
Oh, fuck. I can't
trust
believe you've done
Temerity.
this.
She'll figure that out. What's and then like Ryan leans over. Is Pecker any help?
Pecker's now cooing happily.
I have no idea what this damn chicken is doing. Seems just as useless as ever.
Does it seem?
Think we're on our own if we're going to look.
This sounds weird. Does the chicken seem upset, or does the chicken seem worried?
I don't know. I can't speak with animals.
Let me take a look. I'm gonna roll animal handling to see how. See what's up with this chicken, Pecker.
Sure. 15. It's not bad. So what does this look like? Do you kind of like...
I like pick.
You pick him
Pecker
up?
Yeah, a hefty little. Bitch.
Sure,
I pick
okay.
him up.
You
I'm
lean
like
down.
looking at him, and I'm like, because it's hard to tell if a chicken is feeling emotions or not.
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But
You-
like they do freak out. They will they're.
You pick up Pecker. You kind of lean down, and this isn't like picking up a regular chicken. No, this is a monster chicken. This could feed many people for a while. The issue isn't so much that picking up Pecker, but Pecker seems to have nestled on something, like made found something to kind of camp down on. And when you pick him up, you feel it kind of comes with him, and you feel it's like leathers in your hand. And there's studs to it. You notice that it's like decayed armor, like time or something has sort of chewed into this. And when you lift him up, you kind of like shake your hand a little bit, and a bone falls down on the floor. And you realize you are actually holding what looks to be a chest piece. There's a body here. But what's different from every other body that you found is that the bones look bleached white. They look almost comical in nature.
Wait. I'm having a. First of all, I do a few reps with Pecker. Just get a few.
Okay, sure. Get the blood pumping.
Yeah, it's a little,
Chicken curling.
The second,
yeah.
what the fuck? Okay, hold on. So I pick up Pecker, and underneath Pecker is a dead body.
You notice that, yeah, or it was at one point. Now it's just armor and bones.
Was that like on the ground?
Yeah.
Or, like,
It looks to have almost aged. Compared to just about everything else here, it seems to have sat in the dust. Only disturbed by Pecker.
I investigate the body.
Sure.
He was like a feather duster
Yeah, it's
on the body.
it's rubble and refuse. You sort of push around, and you notice that there's like what looks to be a hemp corded necklace, and at the end it looks like there's a bone and a feather, like almost like a bead. And there's these like brown linen pants, boots that have been smashed. Someone has run over them many a times, and there appears to be what looks like, and still remains, that fell out with that bone, a belt pouch that was nestled in and under the armor to protect it.
Did I use heal to try to determine the cause of death or what's going on with the bones?
That would be it'd be difficult, but yes, you can.
Okay.
It's really good. You can't see what its cause of death is. There's no like ligature marks. There's no markings on the bones that would represent it. Something happened superficially to the skin, to the muscle, and it's likely that they bled out if there is no markings on this. You do see, after glancing over, that there are a few spots where it appears that they had broken like a leg, and it healed, right? Like it had healed just fine. Or that there are spots in the fingers that were similarly broken. There are chips in the bones of the fingers, like there were animal bites. But it's not enough, right? It's not enough to kill a man.
You said it had a necklace?
There's a necklace, yes, and there is a belt pouch. And when you kind of like feel around, it does feel like there's some substance in that belt pouch.
Okay, I take the necklace and I put it on.
You grab that necklace and you put it on. There's like no effect. It doesn't really fit your look, right? This is very natural by design. It looks like it was like, it's not even hemp. It looks like it was leather that was tightly bound, but it's leather from the cable of a stag. The hook, that bone, is a hook from a large predator. A feather from a large avian predator as well. The bead is just a stone.
I think this is Rice style. I think that you're wrong. I think this looks
okay.
Awesome. And I think that he likes it a lot. And he's...
It feels bizarrely familiar. You're not entirely sure why.
Interesting. Why I look at it in the pouch. Carefully, though.
Sure.
You know,
when
you open
you sort of
around.
peel that back, you get this like overwhelming aroma. It hits you, and it's not a very positive fragrance, but you can tell it's like some type of tobacco.
A roll perception.
Oh my gosh! No! Oh no! Oh!
Did you just
what?
find you dead?
Oh my god! I didn't even put it together till Jen was fucking. Oh my god!
Did I know that this was you finding you before you knew you were finding you?
You probably, yeah. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I really like this necklace. Sounds good. I was like, the way you described it, I'm like, whoever made this necklace is awesome.
It's not just Rye style, it's Adam's style.
Right. It was when he said, I don't think it's your style. I'm like, oh no, it's him.
Oh my god, that makes me so sad. Oh, Cypress, you son of a bitch.
Why are you crying?
Badge.
I don't know.
Oh god.
Torvin, you glance down to the bag and you recognize it. It is a smokable substance. It does have a bit of a pungent aroma, but it is definitely in line with something that you've ran through before, and amidst the 300 years that you've walked these plains.
Oh, that's a perp skirt right there. God damn it, man. Oh man. I smell it, and Rye knows immediately what it is.
Sure.
And looks over at Torvin, you know, kind of hands it to him. Let him take a whiff. Give him
It's
kind of
a wee bit old, but
you do notice that on top of that bag, when you kind of look at it, there appears to be some very, very densely like dried and like very tight berries that have been tucked into this.
You're killing me.
You recognize this of coming across a variety of druids. These, while dried, if they were enhanced in its fullest, most rich form, these are good berries. Good berries are a bit of a magical fruit. At their most potent self, they can return hit points back to a dying creature.
I'm like legit hitting the feels right now. How old do they look? Do they look even edible now? I mean, they still...
That's the thing. The body looks like it had been here for decades. The contents of the bag looks like it's only been weeks. 3,
Interesting.
maybe 4 weeks. Right around the time that Petros may have died.
I'm so glad I put on the necklace, though, without knowing. Oh.
I think you're wrong, Bub. I think it is my style.
I cackled.
Yeah, like I'm so dumb. I didn't make the connection at all. Oh, god damn it. Well, Rye just cries. Rye just cries everywhere. No, he's he kind of is looking at his new necklace. He kind of likes it. Thinks it feels good. Shit, man. I don't fucking. I had like an idea of what I was doing here with Eli and everything, and now I'm stun locked. So
You were holding
While
Pecker.
you're looting corpses, I'm gonna go look for them.
Give me perception, Eli, please. Moving forward, it's a bit difficult, but you do hear
I'll
some.
use a luck. I mean, I have 2 luck rerolls.
Go for it. Let's see what you get.
Okay.
That's a lot better. You definitely hear where before you weren't entirely sure. You just kind of refocused, paused for a minute. Maybe you were hearing your footfall, but then you hear the you'd recognize it. It's a bit further away, 50, 60, 70 feet away at most, but the sounds of someone grunting out, coming from the direction of where you had fought at that well, so to speak.
damn, you killed that roll.
Thanks, chat. Going for it.
Do you go like armed, like weapons?
I think I hear them. I call back to me as I move forward.
Sure, you're probably about 20 or so feet away. Do you move like weapon drawn, or are you just kind of like hustling that way?
Shield and Warhammer.
Sure. You
I've got a potion out.
Got it. Perfect. You start to hustle in that direction, and I'm imagining that we'll probably see Rye do much of the same after a moment, gathering himself, also moving in that direction. When you round into that room, you can hear it. It's quite a bit louder now, and you hear, almost there, Oz's voice. Oz, you can hear, no perception needed, the heavy footfall of what could be an ally, most likely an ally. Enter the room.
He'll just kind of start shouting from inside the well. Well, not shouting, but like whispering. But it's
So
probably
it's that
like
whisper
loud.
yell. Hey!
Yeah, he's like,
Right? Ella? Torvin? Imperial? Is that you?
Imperial?
Imperial?
Whoops.
It's okay. I call you she all the time.
Yeah, I'm right here. It's good.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He's down the well. I run over to
Temerity?
the well.
Eli, you are the first there. You Rye comes up right behind. You hear the sound of Oz calling for aid. Rye sort of pushed past you. Continue forward as well.
What do we see? Do we see Oz walking up the side of the
I'm still trying to determine if Eli's actually going or not, if he wishes to.
No, I'm going.
Okay.
I just didn't bring my grappling hook.
Gotcha. Moving over to the well.
Sad.
Your situation.
I've got it in the backpack.
Your situation
Oh, yeah,
looks
right,
a little bizarre, right?
Oh,
like
yeah, you
where
grabbed it.
where before you saw Peverin holding onto the lip, right? He was falling. Now you actually see Oz crawling up this like a creature. It's on like bear crawling up the side of the wall.
Torvin makes a disgusted face.
You can see when you glance up.
see him?
Oh yeah, when
I can see
you have
him.
dark vision, of course you can.
Why making that face? Help me.
Oh, yes.
When you see Oz's head kick back, that's when you actually notice the limp head of Peverin, as he appears to be like not quite fully wrapped, but sort of swaddled to Oz's back. Peverin's asleep, or at least unconscious, to the back of Oz.
How far down are they?
Not far, actually, probably within 10 or so feet. With a little more effort, Oz can get there on own.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can reach my hand down to like help.
Sure.
But I mean, spider climb's pretty OP.
Oh,
do
just that.
spider climbing? Okay.
Yeah, I drink a
Yeah.
spider climb potion.
Yeah,
Every
you can,
time
like,
I
walk
think
on-
this
on
creature
ceilings
can't
and
get
stuff.
more creepy.
Exactly.
does.
This goblin thing just. Oh!
I look over at Eli when we both, kind of go to the edge and we look down. I kind of whisper to him, I told you so. I give him a bit of a wink.
Temerity,
Oswald. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
you heard their footfall as they were breaking ground. I hear something this way. Just as you're rounding out your conversation with Tripp. Tripp, do you allow Temerity to lead, or Temerity, do you take the lead?
I asked Tripp to lead me to where Peverin was.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, if she was like fast, I would go like fucking Death Eater status.
Sure.
Powerball my way through.
You push your way down. Temerity, in a jog, in a jogged run, you make your way down and you can hear them talking. Eli says, I didn't think it could get any worse with Oz, but somehow. And that's when you kind of enter into the room. Oz seems to be crawling out of the hole that Peverin had been falling in previously.
I am impressed but deeply disturbed.
Well, I wasn't sure I was ever gonna make it out of there, but then I remembered I had some spider climb potions.
I check the boy.
Oswald kind of like take him off and gently
Sure.
put him back down and say,
The Spider-Man guy was using him to talk.
Rye puts his hand on Oz's shoulder and asks if he's all right.
Temerity in an orb begins to approach the party.
He wouldn't wait. He would shoot into the well.
Sure. Where you were laying down Peverin, a darkened orb slides down the well surface itself.
A darkened orb. Would that...
that's Tripp.
I understand, but would that alert me?
I mean, it probably would
I have a chance to react to that?
Probably would have garnered your attention, but at this point, I think Peverin is probably a point of authority of your attention. You would notice it. You would see it. Glancing back, you'd see Temerity. You wouldn't see Tripp. But at no point has Tripp taken the form of an orb.
What the hell was that? Temerity, did you finish the job?
I'm gonna go right to Peverin, and as I do, to make sure he's okay, I'll say Eli's direction. My job is my business. I make sure the party is safe, but outside of that, you don't know what I do. And I'll just
Understandable.
I'll try
then,
to look at the boy.
since our gods don't seem to see eye to eye on this, I suppose I'll have to handle it myself.
Torvin and Temerity, you're both on either side of the boy at this point. Oz is sort of shaking off that climb, the ick that led up to the knees. Rye, what do you do? You just
I
sort of
check to see if Oz is okay.
you like, is it a size general sizing up, or are you like looking for wounds? What does this look like?
I just put my hand on his shoulder and ask him if he's okay after he set down
Okay.
Peverin.
I didn't think I was gonna be all right, but he let us go.
No flaming skulls. No ominous creatures.
Oz shakes his head no at the first one, starts shaking his head no at the second, but then nods kind of.
Well,
Torvin Temerity, while this conversation is going on, he appears to be fine. He is unconscious. He does not look to be harmed, as far as you can tell.
well, he was like talking through Peverin, which was a little creepy.
Who's he?
Spider-Man.
We can hear what Oz is saying, yes or no.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see why you couldn't.
All right, just make sure.
I mean, he's talking quietly, but like mostly so, other things can't hear us. But
From where you just came from. He's down there.
Oz nods and points down,
Where Tripp
and
just
then
went.
hugs Pecker. What?
I mean, you technically don't know that that's Tripp yet,
Okay. Oh, okay.
because
He
none of
hasn't
you
been,
guys, the only person that's seen this is Temerity. That's the only person that's seen that form.
Well, but I would have heard
you wouldn't have understood because she has comprehend languages on. And he speaks better
You
speak.
only heard even if you heard the whole conversation, you would have only heard my side.
Yeah, but didn't you and Eli talk when you just got back?
Yeah. Well, I didn't finish the job.
Yeah.
You might put 2 and 2 together.
I wonder if I would.
I mean, you can roll it if you want to. I mean, I think everybody saw that orb, right? It literally went over the top of you guys.
Yeah, Oz is definitely looking down in the hole.
Okay, well, let's just assume he doesn't then. Well, then he would just ask the hole that whatever that was just went down, and I'm like looking over at Temerity.
Oz nods. Oz has a feeling, because he's pretty smart, that might be Tripp, but also is kind of okay with it being Tripp because he made a deal with the devil. It's fine.
Okay. So then I'm just going to let this free form. We've got to come to a bit of a close very, very soon. So I'm going to let the conversation free form. Tripp went down the hole. Conversation here is yours.
Yeah, Oz is just holding the pecker and talking to Rye. So.
Temerity, where is Tripp? What did you do with him?
I'll look up.
I'll look at the hole.
So that
I think she's released him back to his friends.
I didn't release him for anyone. I asked him to lead me to Pevrin, which he did. I'm only assuming that from here he goes to find his name, which seems to be his motivation here. I was able to talk to him. He's had countless opportunities to kill all of us. I don't know that he means us any harm, and
he's used us to get what he wants.
I
tend to agree with Eli.
Well, I don't believe that
not
that's
just
the
us.
case.
and you just left the undead little beastie fly off.
Well, I didn't let him do anything. I didn't think.
Or he overcome you.
He was leading me to the boy. I didn't think he'd continue on based on his previous behavior.
It's always about, I didn't think that would happen with all of you.
I'm not here
This
to
is
kill.
happening real time.
I'm not here to kill.
I look down
We're here to
towards the
discover-
well.
We're not here to kill people who are here with us.
He's not.
Oh,
people.
we're treating
Well-
undead as people now, are we?
While they're yelling.
You all did.
Do I
at
think
each
I could
other.
get down that well?
I mean, yeah, you could get down it once. Not sure if you could get down it twice. It might be one of those things where you black out and wake up a few days later. It's happened a few times in the past. People said you died. It wouldn't be the first grave you dug yourself out of by hand, but you'd be
You
amidst other
can't
dead.
let them keep winning. You've all got these wonderful emotions and thoughts, but they keep winning. I start to make my way down.
How do you do so?
Try to slide down on an angle where I can.
Do I see him start to get start trying to climb down the well?
Yeah, it's a 10 by 10, and there's not really a lot that isn't decayed. So getting up this would be or getting down would be rather difficult.
I see him going.
I don't think you want to go down there. It's kind of gross.
Torvin, what purpose?
We're doing the job. There's some rope in that pack.
Well,
What
job do you think you're doing?
You're doing. I think we say that at the same time.
The
Me and
Mums
I
Club.
say at the same time.
The Mums
And
Club.
and then we give each
Yeah.
other a look.
Called into question. What does Torvin say?
I'm keep moving down. Words are
Keeps going
gone.
down. Okay, then let's see
The
here.
other ghosts are afraid of him. None of them will come close to him.
They'll be fucking afraid of me in a minute.
I think you should stay up here.
Maggie.
If you're gonna go,
You know that if he stops Tripp from gaining that information, you will not get that trove.
Mhm.
I'm going to need a skill check here from Torvin. You would like to climb, correct?
Hold on, before he does that, I see he's pretty determined to go down. He looks like he, I've already looked down the well a couple of times. Again, I'm pretty well versed in, dungeoneering and engineering and stuff, so I can probably tell it's gonna be pretty treacherous. So I walk up and I tell him, if you're gonna do it, don't kill yourself. And I reach in my bag and I hand him a spider climb potion.
Got it.
If we wait and rest now that we have everybody, even if the creature has escaped, then it would probably help our chances for survival. I'm just as eager to get down as you are, but perhaps we can fashion some sort of rope ladder. I do have a bit of rope, and some of the wood looks like it's still sturdy enough to hold us. We can
I
just
drink
rung
the
it.
potion.
Okay.
So, while they're doing that, did Oz say something about did you reference the Splatterman in character, like out loud?
Yeah.
That he
yeah.
said
Multiple times. I've said the
Okay,
words
right.
multiple times.
Okay. So I'm going to stop and say, wait, hold on. So you talked to him.
Yeah, for a while. He was actually not that. I wasn't thinking it was going to be a very pleasant conversation, but it was. Kind of.
I'm handing
You got it. You hand it off.
Torvin.
Go ahead and remove it from your character sheet, and he passes you the
that's
potion.
fine. No, but also I didn't mean to cut them up, but while this is going, I give him pittons and a rope too.
Okay.
Just so he can, because that potions are gonna last so long. He
Yeah.
knows.
Of course. You just got to hammer that into the wall in key spot so you can reclimb. Oz says, yes. I did talk to him for a while. I didn't anticipate it would be bad, but it was actually quite nice.
But he mentioned some things.
What things?
Well, he mentioned he knew, that he killed MargaretKrohn's wife.
What did he offer you, Goblin?
Nothing.
Oz, when he says that, I need a will save.
Rye's listening to all this.
-4.
Yes. 13.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I need even an odd in your favor.
Oh. Odd.
Odd in your favor.
Oz is
okay.
odd. And I rolled an odd.
You got it.
Nice.
It's in your favor. It's your choice how you feel about this. You know what Heen Fairman said. You know exactly how Eli feels about goblins. He's made it very clear. He knows your name. He's known it for the last almost 2 weeks now. Yet he still refers to you as a goblin when the pressure is high. Tensions are running fully so. How does Oz respond? It's your choice. You succeeded.
I already responded to the question. I said, nothing.
I sense motive.
Of course. Of course you can. I'll need a bluff.
Yeah.
I
Eli,
have
you
one reroll left,
go for it.
and I
Come
will
at
use
me,
it.
bruh.
I figured.
Okay.
Oh,
Worse.
damn.
Even worse.
Damn. Sometimes the dice fall that way.
Oz
That's how
goes,
it is.
Nothing. And, I have a name.
Right, apologies. I'm a little flustered.
You start to recognize this, Eli. This is the first you've actually noticed this. It's not you necessarily speaking out of turn, but you are acting very, very close to the cuff in such a way that is borderline violent consistently. Sure, you are justified in what you feel has happened with Tripp, but Oz is right. Oz has a name. Maybe it's the place. Turn of events. Happenstance. You're almost acting a little out of character.
Excuse me if I feel unsafe at the moment after having a knife plunged into the entire group's back.
Temerity, I would like a sense motive from you. This is your job. You are the point of authority here. Would you like to reroll? You do have 2 of them.
I do. Would. Yeah, that's better.
Temerity,
Aw.
you know,
Damn it.
22 on
Damn it.
222.
you know that Oz is lying.
You know a lot of things that Az
I do.
has going on.
Yeah.
You've kept those a secret. Just, you know.
What? The bartering.
Oh my goodness,
I'm gonna just.
Your Honor, leading the witness.
I'm gonna give like the people's eyebrow to Oz in a way that's sustained, right? That is not like Eli, because I'm not in a mood to do Eli any favors right now. But I do have a genuine desire to keep the party safe and sound. And
Only because of that description. Eli, can I get a perception from you? And
Should have never bartered that sword.
Already.
wow. Wow. Unfucking lucky. You were just focused on Oz.
RNG is telling a
Eli that I'm
story.
the actual rock.
Oh my god.
Wowzers, Batman. Okay, yeah.
I don't get why I get so much hate.
Honestly,
What
it's
the hell?
you're catching hate because you're doing the thing that most everybody else wants to. Tripp did fuck up, right?
Cowards.
If
No,
I was a
you're not
player,
wrong.
I would have done the same fucking thing. I would have grilled him.
No.
Damn.
Listen, Rice
Yeah.
says he's
Rise got my back. Is it fucking upside down day or something? What is going on here?
It's Bizarro World,
Swap
man.
dice.
Oh, perfect.
Crazy. Torvin's going
okay.
towards the action, not
Torvin,
leaving the place.
you descend.
Cobalt,
as their
listen.
conversation continues, you descend.
Yeah, you have to learn. Like I've just learned, like there's no fighting it. You know,
This is when you
Rye gonna
start.
Rye, Eli gonna Eli. It's fine.
You make your way down. It's about a 35-foot drop as you spider climb your way down. It's uncomfortable at best. It's slimy. It's slick. Without these pittons, the likelihood of you getting back up here would be rather difficult. But you're able to get down. This is
Please,
what
my-
happens.
Dwarvish ability, just to make sure that I take my time, make sure that the opinions are in the
I'm not
right
even
place
going to
and-
make you skill it. Like it's
All right.
natural for you. You are an urban ranger and you're in an urban environment. This is something that I don't even have to question. It's there. You're confident in it. As you continue to sift through, you start to hear that speak. It's the gutter speak. Being at your age, you've heard that the undead have their own language, but you're not sure. You make out the silhouette. Takes you a moment. You move down a hall following that sound. That's when you see the bodies. The bodies that Pevrin spoke of. And you have no doubt in your mind, staring at their face. Particularly the latest. The style of dress, the type of hat, the bandolier cross. This is Benjamin Kaler. This is the
I'm
sheriff.
still
All
pretty
8 bodies.
close. I'm still pretty close, like I can see the light back up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I start to drag that body back towards it a bit,
sure.
towards the light.
Which one? The freshest or the oldest?
Freshest.
Okay.
Yeah. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm just taking a look. Just how old is he? You know, how long has he been here?
Give me a heal check. Based upon what you know, it looks as if he's taken a lateral blow to the back of the head. There's a cave-in the rear side of the skull. Most of it is dried up. This body's been here 6, 7 weeks. There's still blood stained. The face has started to soak up on the bones itself. It's messy. It's either
Is it professional?
No, this doesn't look professional.
Yeah.
Do you check out the other bodies?
Briefly, but I'm more moving this one back.
Sure. Moving it back. What do you check over the bodies? Are you looking at the clothing, the attire, the wound?
Yeah, just, is there something bright? Is there something stabby? Is there something waiting?
There is pins. Pins on each of the chest. It declares Sheriff Kaler. He's introduced himself. He wears the same pin. You notice that each of the pins on the actual the shirt itself is at a similar angle from where he had been pinning it himself all of those years. Still stands on the current Benjamin Kaler. It's tilted. Just enough so that you realize that he'd been doing it himself. No one's been putting it on him. You glance over that. Dress is very similar, though it may have aged to fit something a bit more current in its demographic of fashion. But the one thing that remains the same across all the bodies, aside from the nameplate, is the wound on the back of the head. That's what you gather. Anything else you're doing?
No, I'm just moving back to the group.
Okay. Do you wish to go back up top, or do you try to seek out the rest of that gutter speak conversation?
I'm listening, but I'm making sure I'm in range of my friends.
Sure. It's probably 20 or so feet away, while you're about, I want to say 30 or so feet away from that shaft that leads directly up. And that is where you see the silhouette appear. It shifts from that blackened orb and takes the form of the wraith with the silhouette of Tripp. He appears to be leaning over into a pit, looking down. There's this gargling sound, this like chittering of teeth, and before there's a bizarre nod, and he turns and starts to descend in the pit, much like a man would, and not in the way that a spirit would. His eyes see yours. He looks down and continues in his descent. For those of you above, it's silent. Deathly silent.
Oz wouldn't leave it silent. The conversation has ended with Eli and them. Oz would say, "Rah."
Are you saying it like kind of quietly to me, or are you just?
Yeah, kind of. But other people can probably hear.
I look over at Oz. I'm kind of was watching down the whole Torvin as he went down. Hey, what's going on?
You said that when you woke up from when you were telling us the story about Nadal, you woke up and there were people with long robes, right? What color were those robes?
Mostly red, some black, maybe a mix of two. Hard to tell what the fire's about.
Oz just sits down, still holding the pecker.
Plot thickens like molasses.
It kind of makes a loud thump.
For those of you that are paying attention, still here, obviously, we know that Torvin is not, but Rye, Eli, Temerity, and even Oz. Oh, this conversation is happening. It takes a moment for you to realize, but there's a muttering, something like a sputter. You realize that it's the boy. Peverin, his lips are moving, the eyes are attempting to flutter. Does anyone attempt to jar him?
I think Imperial and
Yeah, I'm right next to him.
Fire
So
right next to him. Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
How do you do so? Is it a slap? Is it a shake? What does this look like?
No, it was like a hand on the shoulder, fairly gentle. Like, are you okay?
When you begin to shake him, his hand jaunts up immediately. It's almost like lightning fast. It snaps and grabs at your wrist. His eyes open, and they're that blackened slick again, and his mouth begins to move.
Yes, that's what I said. I don't follow through with that. And you wish to know your name.
You realize that The Spider-Man's speaking. And there's a pause.
And I told you I would.
And a pause again. Temerity, do you believe Tripp is there? That he's with him?
Is it something you really want to know? Or is there something else you wish to know?
The pause holds.
Right. I won't be hurting them. I said I wouldn't, and I won't. Fine. It's done. I won't hurt them. I'll be leaving soon. Besides, I have another deal. With a goblin of their Oz. It's fine. It's nothing personal, nothing like that. Just offering them something they can't quite refuse. Each of us have our own problems. Oz is dealing with something different. It aches in them. It's magic, much like it ached in me. But I drum on with the madness. I'll be leaving soon. But I wish to tell you. Your name is Silwith. Silwith Ashworth. Named by your father. Visaro Ashworth.
Tripp, I need a wisdom. Roll just a flat wisdom. I'm gonna give you a circumstantial bonus. Very good, very good. You actually broke 20 with your circumstantial modifier. The name Visaro Ashworth immediately rings true, and you remember your name as Silwith Ashworth. And then it comes to head. All of these memories come flooding back with the name of Visaro Ashworth, your father. The information that you get hurts. You didn't take the fall for a noble, Tripp. You took the fall for Visaro Ashworth. Elven nobility. Your father. He was laundering money from the nobles. He was assisting them. When he got caught. It was more than tax evasion. It was large-scale, fraudulent money movement. You took the fall because you were the bastard son. You were the child that was never supposed to be, and you wanted to make your father happy. And you thought this was the only way that you could do it. He promised you that you wouldn't die, that you'd be there in just for a few years, that money is not much of a problem for them, that they could buy your way out. You overhear that playing in your head as you cry in your cell multiple weeks straight. Before the smoke started to rise around you. And every day they knocked on. Doing all right in there, Tripp? You have a good fall? Everything good in there, Tripp? You have a good fall?
So your Tripp no more. Silwith Ashworth. It's a kind name. It's a shame that they're going to kill you. I wish it wouldn't be. You would have been kind as an apprentice. Some magic still touches you. It's unfortunate that it has to move through that boy. I find it a bit bizarre that you're the connection for him to a god. But it works in strange ways, and Pharasma likes her lot. Good luck to you, Silwith.
And I cut the session there.
Fucking elves!
I can't roll to see if I recognize the name.
Visaro Ashworth? You can try, of course.
Yeah, same.
Knowledge, nobility?
Yes. I would like this also from Rye. And I'll even give Rye a circumstantial bonus.
I have one reroll.
Nobility?
Yes, sir. And if you got the rerolls in,
Do I have?
there's 2 right now. Oh, rip.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
Oz
I
would not
know
roll
that
this.
name.
Just way to know. I don't think
It
Oz would
belongs
know.
to a duck.
To a duck.
He's a big one.
All right, last one. Hey.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I set the DC at 22. 26 for those that didn't have that bonus. It's going to be easier for you. Visaro Ashworth works prominently so as a money mover for an assassin's guild in Nadal. But he lives 4 towns over.
What do you mean he lives 4 towns over?
He doesn't live in Nadal. He just moves money for them.
Do I know the name of the assassin guild?
Of the guild? They go unnamed. They go unnamed. But you know the people to get in contact to get with them.
Have I ever been hired by them?
No, but you've worked with people who have been hired by them.
Okay.
Because most of the people that do work for them, even when they succeed, they die mysteriously weeks later.
Okay. So we're talking like deep, dark connection assassin shit that... Okay. More like the boogeyman kind of shit.
To a degree, enough so that they're known by the common folk of Nadal, just because the nobility help protect their caravan.
Are they considered... Sorry, I keep crying. I just want to know what Rye knows. Are they considered royal assassins? Like they're connected to the nobility and they're supported? Or are they...
You know they're connected.
You
know they're connected. You don't know how far that their reach actually stretches to, but you know that they're connected.
Okay. All right. So they're allowed... So they're basically allowed to act and perform with impunity.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And while you never heard of Visaro ever doing anything, he's in charge of the money flow.
Have I had... And I never had any connection or...
Likely not, no.
With him directly instead of through the assassins?
Likely not, no.
Okay.
But that's... I'm going to halt those questions right there.
Yep.
So, that was episode 29 of The Haunting of Harrowstone. And I know that we ran a little longer for some folks. I'm sorry that it went on. I hope that it was at least entertaining. So I'm going to give you a chance to shout out where you're doing, what you're doing, and all that jazz. Cobalt, tell us about your boss. What are you doing? Where can we find you these days?
Streaming on Twitch. I'm playing Isaac. I'm currently on a personal best. I think it might be a world record, but I don't know because it's like hard to find those kind of things. Anyway, we're on a personal record at least. Doing random streaks, speed running, all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna have a YouTube only Tainted Lost streak coming up soon. We hit a sub goal for that. So that'll be content that's only on the YouTube. And I'm on Twitter, YouTube. I stream at 5 p.m. I play D&D here Tuesday nights. I play D&D on Roll For It Thursday at noon. It's a lot of fun in both areas. Oh, and I did a game show with Frost Prime and Dan Giesling this morning at noon, and I won $1,400.
Holy shit.
So
congratulations.
If you haven't checked that out, it's a lot of fun. I think I just spoiled the ending for you. But there you go.
I wonder if he wins.
I gotta say,
it was a lot of fun.
Congrats first and foremost, but secondly, well done today with the role play. You really played into the Harrow card, and especially like when I noticed that a few others were not necessarily like hitting the mark, but you like you nailed it. You nailed it, and that's huge. It's hard to kind of lean into those things that affect your personality, and well, I think everybody can clearly see exactly how it affected Eli today.
I seem extremely bipolar to everyone, but it's fine. I'm like, hey, let's all get along. Last week and this week, I'm like, kill, hunt, destroy. All of you are wrong, except for Rye. He's my bestie now.
He's my bestie. I can love it. Perfect. All right. We've got next was Misty Imperial. What are you doing? Where can we find you? What are you doing these days?
Hi, I'm. You can find me at twitch.tv/Imperial. I have actually another RPG tomorrow night. It's a one-shot over on the Logitech G channel. I will be playing Infernal Goose game, basically. The Infernal Goose in the D&D, that's basically the terrible goose from that game.
Nice.
We're starting at like level 15 because it's a one-shot, so this is going to be fun. I hope. And that's tomorrow. I am going to Disney to do some more running because I have a problem this weekend. But other than that, I'll be back next week sewing my face off.
I mean, you should keep your face on.
Yeah,
I think folks like that.
I mean, I'll
Sew
just
your
stitch it
face
back
on.
on. Right.
Yeah.
I'll take it off.
Oh, it's
and then
because
sew it on.
you ran it off. You ran your
Right.
face off.
I'll run my face off and then stitch it. Gotcha.
I got you. That's dope. Perfect. Wyld, boss, what are you doing these days when you're not being a very, very angry dwarf?
Very upset dwarf. I'm doing a lot of Minecraft. I'm actually in the middle of a big redesign of OBS. I'm looking at a whole bunch of different external apps like StreamerBot and Ellohime, and there's quite a few, and trying to find a whole new way of vision of basically rebuilding what a set of scenes will be. It's all experimental, but yeah, we're trying that out. So I'll be streaming some of that if you're interested in the back end of OBS streaming.
Cool. That sounds sick. I still need to get back into it. When this new computer is finished, I expect to see some wildness with that Modcraft pack, because, well, I mean, that's just what you're capable of. Also, to highlight that again for you, echoing off of what I said about Cobalt, we did get to see a bit more of a spicy side of Torvin today. There was even, I don't want to say like bickering as much as it was like call outs, and that's the stuff that I live for, man. Like you guys, you brought it. All of you brought it today.
So it was a good day.
Yeah, it was real good game. Next, Ms. Maggie, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hello, I'm MargaretKrohn. You can find me at MargaretKrohn in all the places. I do things on the internet, and if you follow me, you'll see them. I make video games for a living also. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. That's me.
I just realized who that sub went to. The Cobalt's my daddy? What? Oh, love it.
I love the
great.
novelty names.
I love it, yeah. Thanks, Dunmer, for hooking Cobalt is my
Also,
daddy.
Cobalt, do you know you have another kid?
I do now.
Well, that is the only way one can handle that sort of remark. I love it. Oh, Dad.
I'm
Yeah?
everyone's daddy. I'd be calling all the moms. Okay.
Oh, Lord. Hello. Boss, what are you doing these days? Where can we find you?
I'm not anyone's daddy. I guess just one. I stream early in the morning, usually like Eastern time, 4 a.m., something like that. So if you're Insomniac, come on along. Variety streamer. I'm gearing up for Elden Ring in a couple of days. There's going to be a lot of that. There's also some Risk of Rain 2 coming up for no reason whatsoever. And yeah, come on along. Ellohime, you can find all my social media on my main channel if you're really that interested. That's it.
I adore this group, man. Y'all go hard. Xander. When you're not pissing literally everyone off. What are you doing, man?
Well, today I did my first playthrough of Binding of Isaac. So that was pretty
How'd
fun.
that go?
Bro, I'm dog shit. Like, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I picked up the soy milk, and I'm not gonna lie, I had fun with it. It was pretty cool. Rapid fire small tears. It was great.
It's booty, dude. It's so bad.
I did that. I do role play, or I try to role play here without making people mad, but I fail at that. The making people mad part, I think I do okay at role play. And then yeah, I've streamed tomorrow as well for the same kind of stuff. I'll probably be trying to continue not to sucking at binding again to see how far I can get.
Sick. And then that leaves me. You guys already know me. You've been here for long enough. You should know exactly what I do. If you don't, I tell stories. I make voices loud, and I occasionally cause inter-party disagreements, I suppose. I play the devil's advocate, and I get people riled. So there's that. I do some video games and stuff. I'm getting a new computer very soon. I've got a lot of the parts bought. The 3080 Ti over there. I've got my case back here, and the CPU is in with my builder. It's Ryzen 9 5950X. So I'm feeling the power. I'm ready for it. And that's about it, guys. Make sure you check out the Patreon, patreon.com/thebubbernaut. We are closing that gap on 100 patrons. If we hit 100 patrons, Pecker becomes a possessable NPC.
At which point I will kill it.
No, just
Oh.
leave Pecker alone.
Oh man, I'm just waiting for you to unfortunately roll polymorph and it rolls into rat on Pecker. Then it's like instantaneous decapitation. The Eli is going to become a Beyblade.
Why do you want this? Why do you want Pecker
I don't
to die?
want it.
It's just the way the world is.
I'm at the whim of the DM over here. Okay, like he could have made a rat spawn while I prayed, and I would have slaughtered that, and it would have been terrible. I'm glad you didn't.
Today's
do that.
wild magic was pretty great, though.
It was pretty strong. Yeah, pretty happy with it. Thanks, chat, for coming through with the wild magics. You guys are real ones. For the weapon rolls.
I was like, am I gonna die?
Oh, it made for such good roleplay. Also, what a lore dump, man. This whole episode was just cram-packed. So if you have to rewatch the episode, make sure you do it over on my YouTube. Yeah, if you didn't know, there is one. And
And sub to
leave a
Bub.
comment. Leave a comment and stuff like that, man. People love that shit. I love it. Makes me feel good. Lets me realize why I keep doing this stuff. That's gonna be it, though. I'm gonna let y'all go. Do your thing. Do what you do. Stay safe. Stay nerdy. And I'll catch you guys on another time. Peace. We're out of here.
Soy milk and
Take
baking
care.
soda shots for everybody. Have a good one. Bye.